Yes, welcome, Sadaf. Greetings.
Hi, Anger. Good afternoon from Islamabad, Pakistan.
Yes.
Finally, today is 12th December, Anger.
Yes, indeed. It's 12 days of COP, virtually online. We'll be collecting stories from around the world for these 12 days. Amazing stories. So how do you feel, my dear friend in Pakistan, Sadaf? How are you today?
Of course, a bit kind of tired, but keeping the spirits high. I think it was great what we did. And we'll invite David and Richard formally as well, looking very sharp and nice in their suits for the closing ceremony. So, today, for the viewers, as you know, we have been running this campaign, It's for You, or COP28, which is happening in Dubai. For the viewers who don't know what COP is, it's Conference of the Parties, which is a climate conference which happens every year in different countries. And this year it was happening in Dubai, UAE. And also, Ingrid, next year, I think we all should get up. It's in a very nice, beautiful country where I have not been. And for the Pakistanis, the visas are easy. It's in Azerbaijan, Baku. So COP is coming nearer and nearer to Pakistan. So I'm happy about that. So we will be talking about that as well later. But yeah, it has been great. And I congratulate all the team, especially the African team. They have been really working hard. It was their super experience in spite of the glitches. They were amazing. Collins, Kaka, Tim, Maureen, Areva off behind the scenes. I've been making him crazy, making all those posters at 2 a.m. in the morning.
So
So,
much.
guys, there was a lot of effort behind this whole campaign, but I think the African team has done wonders. I'm so happy working with them, and I wish I meet them in person in Kenya, Nairobi one day with you, Inger. So I want to take names of everyone. They will be joining us: Maureen, Irene, Kaka, David M, Timothy, Collins, Richard, and David were amazing. It was their first experience, but
Yes,
they did
yes.
quite well. I mean,
Did you see, did you see it on the intro? I put this is for every hedge fund manager on the planet. Let's invite them in. They are, I know they are watching us and can be ready
yeah.
to jump on the
So
screen.
formally, I will
This is
invite
for you.
David. Yeah.
I'm letting you come to the stage with us, David and Richard, because did you see every
Hi.
hedge fund manager and every child, 2.5 billion children on the planet and generations to come. We have to do some rethinking here. Explain to us what we have to rethink.
Yes. Well, this is amazing. Thank you, and it's been an incredible experience. I think, honestly, we can't do it with is everybody doing it together. That's this whole effort. But most of all, when we started, we were hoping for this to be this antidote, as in the way I'd like to express it, to COP28, in the sense that here we hear the work that everybody is doing, the positivity as they face the climate challenges and turning them into opportunities. And we've heard from people in remote areas of Pakistan. We've heard from people across the continent of Africa. We've heard from people as far away in Las Vegas as people in Melbourne in Australia and down in Peru. And we've heard from people in Hungary, in Europe. We have brought voices from across the world together that they are able to tell us the migration to this richer world and a better future where we can face our climate challenges and do away with a world where we do not need the oil and gas and coal has started, and it's not going to stop. Thank you.
Wow. I have a follow-up question to Richard. Hedge fund managers and the City of London is big business. Explain to me what David just said now, that we are flocking and flying into a future that is put a limit on oil, gas, and coal. Explain to the viewers, to us, to every big money trader on the planet. What is it?
Thank you, Ingemette, for that introduction. I think, having worked all my life in finance, you see the world through that particular lens. And in that lens, what I see is essentially a world that's getting closer and closer to some form of bankruptcy event, because the climate costs are stacking up on a completely new scale. And this is not something that's going up in a steady linear fashion. It's actually going up in a really explosive, exponential fashion. And when you see the world through that lens, it becomes very obvious that the only way for us to prevent the world going in that direction and actually going bankrupt for a better world, because the climate will bankrupt us, make no mistake about that, is a world where we actually need to limit our use of the fossil fuels. And by extension, if you want to limit the use, you probably need to limit the production, because if it gets produced, it's going to get consumed. And that is very much the world I see. And I think what we've shown during the 12 days of COP is that there are people all over the world that are doing amazing things, that are very thoughtful. They've really kind of figured this out. And the migration that David is describing is to that point where we will face a future without using as much oil, coal, and gas. COP28 might not be able to issue a statement as such, but the actual migration among people of the world has started to that kind of future. Because without that, the future is really, really bleak. So we move ahead to a brand new world, and in the meantime, we're going to go on building livelihoods for ourselves during this migration. And a migration never takes place simultaneously. People will join at different stages of this migration. You have the pioneers that decide to move really early. They were the people who figured this out by the time Kyoto was around 25 years ago. By the time Paris Agreement, which is actually 8 years ago now, was signed, I think a much larger portion of the world had figured it out. And I kind of came on that particular, for a better word, bus sometime just after Paris, when I said, this is actually not having a very good outlook at all. So I think now we are at the tipping point where you see a large part of the global population actually figuring out that the current economic model, with our huge dependency on fossil fuels, is really, really not sustainable. And that's why we started the migration.
Yes. And the tipping point, there's negative tipping points and positive tipping points. What you're describing here is a positive tipping point. You're actually describing that people navigate into a new future that is flocking together in different times, and different professions are coming together, and the breaking down of silos to come together. And that is actually happening right here and now, that you are together with Sadaf and my colleague friend Irum from Karachi and Islamabad, and I'm based in Norway. We are suddenly also talking about empowerment of women as a strong force. We are talking about empowerment of farmers. We're talking about a divorce from the food industry into a new kind of ecological movement, and maybe that divorce and the marriage, David Cole. Maybe please explain what you see. What's the invitation to a new market when it comes to putting a lid or limit or a transformation on oil, gas, and coal for our viewers? It is difficult.
Absolutely. It is this part where resoundingly what we're hearing from people who are affected by the climate challenges coming forward to say, we meet it head on. You can do your part. And you talk of us coming from the investment world, and Richard and I have spent 30 years making money for big money. We as our segment, who's tipping over the tipping point, kind of jokingly comments, our superpower is to get people to buy things. And the thing that we can actually get people to buy is to keep oil, gas, and coal in the ground. So
Really?
just imagine this.
How can I buy that? I can.
Well,
It is difficult. I don't.
absolutely. And this is the transformation. This is the miraculous thing. Imagine a couple is getting married together and they go and buy their wedding ring.
Okay.
And there are many places that buys it, but one of the places says, I'm going to help you when you buy your wedding ring as a commitment to each other. I can make that a commitment to our planet too. I will commit a part of your money that you spend, that you choose to spend, to buying these mineral rights, because they're just mineral rights. And we can buy a lump of gold and keep it stored in our mattress, and so that no one will ever see it again. We can do the same with oil and gas and coal, so that we can keep it stored away and never be seen again. And you know what?
I don't want to put myself in a plastic bed, or I'm just joking, but oil, gas, and coal. I don't want to sleep beside the oil, gas, and coal. But our mattresses are also very often in plastic. So
Yes,
it's a
but
plastic. Yes.
And that's the brilliant thing about it, because they are already hidden away. We just have to buy the rights of them so we don't dig them out. So half the job is already done. And for the person who owns it at the moment, they're waiting for you to come and say, I can still feed my children and have a better future for them by you coming along and thinking about it. Because if you give me those money in that way, I can feed my children, and what I have left, I can go and help and invest in healing the planet too. And that's what we all want to do.
Yes.
So we actually end up healing the planet by keeping the poison away, instead of having to feel we have to take it out and poison ourselves and everyone else. We can actually spend our money.
Yeah. So let me think about this a bit. So the wedding ring. So I buy the wedding ring, and with the wedding ring, you will call it a tax. So it goes into someone that is owning a coal mine or something, and we pay them as we pay people to buy a tree offset. We pay people to not cut down trees. We pay them not to take out the coal and burn it. That's
yes, and there are many ways you can do that, and it doesn't have to be a tax, as in it goes to the government, because our governments are not always the ones that want to do the things that we want, but it can be effectively our own collective action together, that we put our money together and collectively, as we do in many situations. For example, we collectively contribute towards maintaining, the beaches we have or the parks I go to and so on. And depending on where you are and which country you have different ways of doing that. So this allows us to say we can contribute ourselves and have that real power by redirecting the money we spend to the people we think are making the world better. And what better way of making the world better than to halt the constant poisoning that we are doing at the moment on our planet, so that it supports all the healing and the therapies that we are creating, and we're taking ourselves forward. And what better way than to do this with our money, so that our money goes into real technology that actually heals us and takes away the poison.
Wow. So it sounds like a brilliant idea. It's like glittering, like in all colors in my brain, like the background that we have here. So it's a little bit. It still is a confusing thing for me, and I'm sure, like my colleagues from Pakistan, is also a little bit confused. So why do you want to work with us as ladies with beautiful shopping habits? We love shopping. We can shop till we drop. So what's the story about this?
Well, this is the essence of the whole dilemma and conundrum we face. Many of the things that we do, we do in order to protect ourselves and help ourselves. The aspect of kind of retail therapy, is something I myself do. On some of those days, you just feel that you need to in that way. But here, you are able to spend knowing that you can direct part of your spending goes to healing the planet along. And it doesn't take very much. I mean, it's surprising how little it actually takes. It's just that we're not aware that we can do this. And of course, for those who are currently involved in extracting these minerals and selling them so that we burn them and go along in that way. They're serving us because we need the energy along. But the distinction that has been made, the migration that has started, is the voices of individual people, even from the areas which have been affected by the climate challenges, where they need their source of energy in their current form, to say, we've started our migration, we've started moving away. So please help us on the other side, support our journey.
Yes.
Carefully to what. Thanks, Iram, from joining us from Karachi, Pakistan. We'll come to you as well. And thanks for your support all the 12 days. It was a great team effort, and we congratulations on air. I again say we did a great job. So, coming
Absolutely.
back to what David was saying, as we mentioned, that the concept is very clear, Ingrid, to me. What David is trying to say is just that it needs to be documented, and the way Richard and David is going to people like, I don't know, David and Richard, you've heard so many conversations from Pakistan, uh, from all over the world. And these people, as I was mentioning off the record, a lot of people, my own friends, have given me the feedback. And that's what David was saying, we calling it the antidote to COP28 was our COP was a bit kind of different. All those people came up with success stories, what they're achieving, aligning it to sustainable development goals, which is the United Nations agenda for 2030. Like, look at the Saddam guy. I watched his presentation last night when I came back from the mountain festival. And if that kid can do it from the north part of Pakistan, he is working on renewable energy. He's very focused. When I met him in person, he had that passion, and I really wanted him to present, and I wanted Richard and David to hear his presentation. What I'm trying to say is that, Inger, it's not impossible. These ideas, I mean, my nephew is living in Lahore, and every day we have a family group in which he's saying he can't, he's bought an air filtration for his apartment. He has to wear a mask to go out. It's like, I've grown up in Pakistan, Iram has grown up in Pakistan. We never had these problems. Did you hear what Saddam said yesterday? Peshawar is the second most polluted city in Pakistan. The carbon emissions, the air we breathe in is literally poisonous and it's harming our health. My question to you all is, and it is kind of, I don't want to talk about the challenges, but I think, David, it's brilliant idea what you think. And if people like, it's like Iram, I'll put it to you and I'll bring Iram in conversation. Iram knows exactly what I'm trying to say because Pakistan, let me tell you, is the first country, if you do a research, is the most charitable organizations around the globe when it comes to, in Islamic word, we say zakat and khairat, right? So, what David is trying to say, to save the planet, if anyone can afford even paying 10 rupees, let's, if this campaign starts from Lahore, imagine nobody's even thought of this campaign, by the way. The government is focusing on other things, right? If we pick up Lahore and Peshawar and we start this campaign, Iram, people are going to give this money like crazy. If they can afford 10 rupees, they will put in this. If people who can afford 5,000, because it's there. It's there. They're facing it. So Iram and I know exactly these type of campaigns in Pakistan are a success story. They've won Oscars. By the way, I'll quote here Shirmeen Chinay Obad. Google it right now. She's won an Oscar from Karachi. She made just a documentary on what was it, on the acid facing. It was a
Acid
negative
facing.
story for Pakistan, but she cashed it and she was nominated Oscar. She highlighted that issue and she did it. There's so many other stories to share right now, but I'll bring in conversation Iram. Iram, the concept in plain
Yes.
words, David is explaining it in a like a complicated way, but I'm putting it in a simple way for you and the Pakistani viewers. What we are trying to say, it's for you campaign, is that whatever you can to save your climate and to breathe fresh air, it's like a donation. I'll put it that way. It's a donation to save your climate, Earth. It's a charity. It's like to save your future generations. Will Karachi people step in? I think you better do, because what Mariam showed the presentation, in 10 years in Lahore, people will start dying if they don't, if we don't know anything, by the way. That's the American research report. Yes, Erin.
I, I I
May
would
I?
like to add a little bit onto that very much. You know, I have 4 children. I have spent a lot of money on their education, and it makes no absolute sense to me that I should actually spend a little bit of money for a planet for them so that they can do something with their education. And that's how I see it. That's how Richard and I have come to this. And Richard will be able to tell you it takes something like just 1 day's worth of our spending every year. You know, if you think about that, how much of what I have spent on my children's education, and I've spent that not because of anything other than that I want them to be able to be the people that they can be, the best of who they may be. So sorry, Erin,
Yes,
I
indeed.
interrupted.
Yes, I know. No, it's okay. It's just a friendly conversation, and I guess Sadaf has a point. And as per, I give my example that I have started that campaign just to have $1 for a thalassemia child to have a good day and a good gift of their life. So those children doesn't have the lifeline, and believe you me, people around the world listen to my voice. Last Eid that we celebrate, just like your Christmas, last Eid I did it, and I spent the second day of my Eid in the thalassemia ward of children. So that thalassemia children were the happiness, the smile on their face, just being me there, and some gifts of that $1 in Pakistan is like 300 rupees, and that thing can bring a smile on a child's face, because I know might be they're living for a month or maybe a year, maybe a day, but I'm happy that if I go visit next time, half of the children will not be there, will not
Yeah.
see me again. So I started this goodness. It's a job that I do without any of the, I don't want any money from anyone, but half of the money I have donated, just to see that smile and capture those smiles in this world, that they
Yes.
also have someone who cared for them. So this is my campaign that I started. $1 that I only asked, and believe you me, people started sending me 10,000 reals. People started sending me in dollars. People start, because I have a trust level on the people that they know that what she say, her word count, and I don't just do cheating and everything kind of thing. So if you wanted to start a climate change campaign, do talk to me afterwards, because I know how to do it. And everyone will just come together, because this is a cause that is not only for David, not only for Richard, not only for Sadaf, or not for Inga. It's for humanity. So step up, everyone. If you wanted to just be a part and a global citizen with us, the campaigning of the community, we are starting $1 campaign. How about that? We are going to do it, and I am looking forward to have collaboration with different of the organization. I'm calling Japan in, I'm calling China in, I'm calling Turkey, and many other countries. Those who are standing with me for the $1 smile. I want $1 for the community, so that please do listen to me, come to me, connect with me, and we as a team are doing a campaigning on this thing, because together we can, and together we stand, will make the community grow better.
So
As
true.
Erin was talking, the word just came into my mind: Save
Yeah.
Lahore Climate Fund for Clean Air. Just a
Yes.
name.
It's not
And
only Lahore, it's the
Lahore,
Peshawar, it's the Karachi, it's the Gwadar, it's everywhere in Pakistan, because Pakistan is suffering the baddest climate over here, because Peshawar city is also counted in there, as Saddam told you. Lahore has a smog there, and it is like, oh my God, the smoke and everything, because the industrial area is nearest to the city. It is all it's very populated kind of a city. The Karachi city is a hub of commercial. It is like a business city, and it is a port city. But there is so much has to be done, because there's few of the organization like JDC and many other people are working for the people. And there are no, especially in Karachi, when I say there's no drinking water supply, which can be over here in a few further years, we wouldn't be able to drink the pure water. Can you just mute a little bit, sir? Thank you so very much. Sir, mute. Thank you. So the thing is, like, we all need to work on it. It's not only Pakistan I'm talking about. If you go to America, there's the same situation going over there. If you go to UK is also having and suffering all of these things, because that's why the global warming is happening. The other things are happening. People over there, my relatives live over there. I used to live over there in High Wycombe. It's been years, but the weather then was something amazing. Weather now is like a few of the people in summers, they're having, there was no installation of fans and ACs over there, but yeah, definitely now they are having it. As David, you live over there. I used to live there. When I got married, I lived there in UK. So my entire family is over there, and it's been like, I used to go to London School of Arts because I wanted to do some textile designing. So you know what? Been there, done that. But the thing is, right now is the thing that we have to do that. We have to be one of a kind of a human being that are really saying something. We're not just saying it. We're standing by our word. This is what important today.
Yes, absolutely. Put our money where our mouth is. And this is the thing. When we come and we listen to what comes out of COP, we have our power taken away because we feel we have to wait for someone else to do the thing that needs to be done. And here, what we're saying is, from what Richard and I come from, is we know we have that power ourselves. Richard, you were describing how the mathematics of this work between the customer and the business. Do you want to explain?
Very happy to. We readily acknowledge that, and I think this is hugely important for people to understand wherever you are in the world. Nothing comes for free. Okay? That's an illusion. There are no shortcuts to prosperity. Nothing comes for free. If we want to maintain our planet the way it is, we have to be prepared to pay for it. And what is simpler than proportionately all over the world, whoever spends the most pays the most? If you only have a little money to spend, you will make some contribution. If you have a lot of money to spend, you will making a larger contribution because it's natural. Your demand on the planet is larger than the person who's only spending a few dollars a year. But it's important to remember here that it can be done very simply. If all the world's businesses align themselves to this, we could actually buy back the whole oil, gas, and coal industry with the spending we as citizens of the planet do in one day of the year. That's all the cash flow that would need to get directed towards maintaining our planet. I think that is incredibly cheap. To pay 30 cents on $100 of spending, because that's what it is, for maintaining a planet we can actually live and prosper in, I think is a bargain.
And of course, your businesses need you as the customers. So whatever you say, they listen.
Absolutely. We have that power as global consumers of the world. We have that power. It's a fallacy to believe that we are powerless in the face of multi-billion dollar corporations' value. Because there's 8 billion of us and we spend an awful lot of money every year on our goods and services. So the power actually lies with each and every one on us on the planet as consumers to say, I think it's okay to pay a little fraction of all the money I spend towards the planet. Because honestly, I don't see how we're otherwise going to do it, because nothing comes for free. And we need to kill that fallacy thinking that somehow we can achieve this without making a sacrifice. And I think this is a sacrifice that's an absolute bargain.
So you're right, Richard. It's the power is in our pockets if we have coins in our pockets. But let us go back to what the idea that Sadaf actually was presenting here in our call, and I haven't heard it before. And this is it's a health issue for citizens in Lahore and all the neighboring cities around in the area. And Sadaf is suggesting, let us do a campaign that is actually looking at this situation in Pakistan. And this is kind of the initiative, the ideas that you as hedge funds managers out of London, you can actually help the initiative together with the credibility and that IRM is having in Pakistan, that we can fundraise a dollar or like whatever people have in their pocket. And to say that this is a message, the blanket of trapping the heat waves in Pakistan up to 40 degrees, and then in addition having the haze and the lead pollution. We have to talk about that. It's killing people in 10 years, as Sadaf is saying. So it is not only consumer, but it is a citizen. It's a right to have fresh air. So and we have to start from somewhere. So that is what actually Sadaf is suggesting in my ears.
Continuing to Inger's conversation, so Rotary is a great network. I think to start with, I mean, we will be having a follow-up meetings after this. Uh, they have done wonders for eradication of polio project in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and I've been victim to that. Iram also knows. The 1 billion project story from Sri Lanka is amazing, right? And Rotary, they don't just
Yeah.
talk. Rotary is like, imagine if we have a collaboration or an MOU of the It's For You campaign with Rotary for this climate saving fund for Lahore and Karachi and Peshawar, which are the mostly hit cities. They have organized teams. We just have to share our idea, become a Rotarian first. David and Richard, I request again after the
Yes.
call is over,
Yep.
start with London Rotary, because London Rotary is very active, right? And same goes to our friend from David, who is in Kenya, Nairobi. The EDCN network, imagine if everybody joins Rotary, we don't have to do anything. Iram knows how Rotary and I know how Rotary operate. You just need to get them on board
Yes.
and they
Yes,
will do
indeed.
it fast track. And the other takeaway and the campaign which I have in mind to make it on a very fast track is like people like Mariam, Saddam, they have their non-profits registered. We don't have to waste time. We just engage these people on the ground in different countries to start this campaign. So that's just,
Absolutely.
yeah, over to you, David.
Absolutely.
So
Uh,
let me add up. As I am a Rotarian from Pakistan as well, and I'm a part of a Rotary Club in New York as well. As I have got dual nationality kind of thing, so yeah, definitely I am doing that. But it's all it needs is your goodness. All it needs, if you wanted to do good to people connect with you. That's the thing that I believe in, that if you wanted to serve the community will serve you back. think about it, I've done that, been there, and it's, it's like it's a streamline that it's just connects. It's a chain. When you start one step, then I didn't know who's gonna just support me, because when I do food thrives in Pakistan, and alhamdulillah, my God has given me that power of speech, and the people trust, the trust level that I have on people. They started stepping up, giving me the money for different areas in the city Karachi, which is like, it's a huge city. I cannot afford all of these food thrives that I do. But I guess in Ramadan, which is a holy month for us, alhamdulillah, it's by my name, and it happens in entire small areas of Karachi where people could not afford food. So this is like we are doing every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This is something like people stood up, because I couldn't go to the different areas of the city by myself, but my word can. So this is how I started. And it's not just that I need some fame, it's like the thing that I have done. God has chosen me to do all of these things, and I guess I am the one messenger that telling people, take one step and he's there to help you.
Absolutely. And just like connecting up. I think when we face our climate challenges, what happens very often is that we feel alone. We feel we have to tackle the problem that it is, and we feel that the cause of the problem is something that's beyond our ability to do. And where we come from is
Yes, indeed.
simply to say you can bring them together. You can actually allow the money that you have, that you want to use to solve your problem, also be the same money that actually gets rid of the cause of it. So that whatever effort you make, will last for your children and for their children too. And not just hoping that someone will tackle that cause, because you will be able to do that. And in doing so, the 10 rupees, the 30 cents on $100, the half a penny, when I first came to the United Kingdom, that was the smallest coin, the half a penny piece, which no longer exists. All of those will show the businesses and the big money where they need to spend their money. So do not be afraid that the money you have is not enough, because as the customer, you are the king. And
So
that's how all the big money will get directed along.
please let us also say hello to our friends from Kenya, David M, and we have David Ko on the team. Hi, David M from Kenya. You can prepare yourself to share your point of view. But first, I'd like to say, dwell on the thing about big or the mechanism on big money, on net zero, planting trees, carbon offsetting. The one thing is to connect with pennies or like small pocket money in Lahore. But how is that connected to carbon offsetting in the big money frame? Over to either Richard or David Koch to answer that question, because is it enough to plant trees?
Pardon, Inga, I don't know if I got your question well. I have some issue with internet here, but all the same, today is a public holiday, so our office said actually the guys from there are not around today, so we are still in the process of accessing. I'm in a hotel here. But I heard you speak about trees. I don't know if you can pardon your question, because I'd like to put my
Well,
input in a
it's
correct
a
way
little bit
here.
like we were talking about planting trees, and I'm asking both you. I know that we're engaging in planting trees, and the drought is where you are in Kenya, and people are suffering in the front line of climate change, and in Karachi and Lahore it is the air pollution. But I'm also asking David Co as well, and David M in Kenya. Is it enough to plant trees? Will it help? Will it save the carbon offsetting market? Is it enough? The
I
David,
would like to say I would love to plant trees. We have in part of our campaign is for you the ultimate book of trees, where we write a page for ourselves, a personal story that we can leave behind about our personal story of trees. But the thing we mustn't confuse is, if we keep digging the oil and gas and coal out and burning it, we're going to burn the trees that we're going to plant.
True.
So when we try to say we will give you credit for burning your oil and gas and coal by planting the trees, it is better if it goes the other way around. Why don't you pay to keep them in the ground and pay us that money so we plant the trees? Turn it round the other way. The money should be flowing to heal the planet, to give everybody that joy and hope for the future. Not the way of saying somehow we need you to allow you to keep doing the bad things for yourself and for the rest of us, so that we can plant our trees. That's looking at it the wrong way around.
We need both. We need both. We need the tree schemes in inner cities to clean the air and to get shadow to protect.
Yeah.
We need those trees. With David,
Absolutely.
you know.
Inga, I now get the idea of what you're talking about. I don't know if you can hear me well. Yeah. So the issues to do with the tree planting, we have two conversations here, and I just want to thank the Absentia, the CS in charge of forestry, here back here in Kenya, because I really like how, but after you plant that tree there, you leave it. And I think she came up with an initiative of planting that tree and following up to ensure that it grows to the, to some levels. And this is the same idea. Like right now, David is driving the point of putting down the issues to do with gas, coal, and so on and so forth. All those harmful gases on the atmosphere. This is the same concept. Planting that tree and giving it a conducive environment to grow. I think that is the conversation that we need to have right now. If coal is the problem, let's deal with it. If oil is the problem, let's deal with it. Let's call a spade a spade. This is the problem. We need a solution, and I think a solution is there. And with all these bright minds and those people come out to raise their voices, I believe we have a solution. So tree planting is paramount. It should be done. I think in a few days ago we made you aware that here in Kenya we had a tree planting day where we did, and we were targeting to plant 15 billion trees as per the president of our republic here. That is His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, and that is still ongoing. And tree is life. The one who through prayer and meditation yesterday made it very clear that he took us to history, and we were thanking Mother Nature. We were thanking the earth. We are thanking water. We are thanking fire. Inga, as you put it, especially in religious matters, or as the Maasais who do some meetings, you realize that one tree can even give you, you can do a meeting under one tree, and it can hold a very good number of people, and that meeting will go well. Churches, some of the churches here in Africa, let me just not single out Kenya, let me speak of Africa. Some churches are being held under a tree. So you see the importance of having this thing, not mentioning the air that it gives us and a lot of things that we get through it. So this conversation, I really like it, and it should move on. And I like the idea of David because he is talking of putting down the issues to do with coal, the issues to do with those gases, because once we put down these things, then we'll have a good Mother Nature to live with. Remember, Mother Nature can really revenge on us if we misbehave. That's my taking.
Yes. Thank you, David from Kenya. I heard some voices from Dubai, from the African youth, expressing that don't gas our leaders. What is your take on that, David Cole? Don't gas our leaders.
I'm not sure what they may have in mind, but the words themselves, you can imagine, you can see all the things about, our leaders and the whole aspect of, the natural gas that they're a major producer of, and being in that place. And there is also a part where sometimes when you go to these conferences, it's all very exciting. You feel really energized, and you
Yes.
feel you're a fantastic part of it. And there's a part of that kind of, it's almost like an intoxicating gas as well, that you feel you're all caught with it. And you forget very easily where you come from and the reason why you're there, because you're caught in the moment along that too. And so maybe there is a reminder there for the leaders to say, do not forget where you come from, the roots of where you come from, because they are where the people there are looking for you to speak for them. And for your words not to try and juggle between what is advantageous for this or advantageous for that, but simply to speak out that truth. The migration has started. We all need to be on it, and we will all be on it, no matter how we want to juggle it otherwise. Because as we've heard over these 12 days of It's For You, from voices of people who have been doing things, positive things, to say, I meet the challenges. The lady, Sadia Khalid, who said, it's not the money, it's the starting. When you take that small step to start, you take away the fear. Those are the voices, those are the steps. And I think to the leaders, don't be too intoxicated by the excitement that may be going on.
Yes.
Because back home, the people you represent, they have already started the migration.
Yes. You're right. It's a party going on, and that's the COP. It's a conference of the parties on climate change. So we are also saying that our 12 days, it's a celebration. We are celebration of ourselves. We are celebrating the ideas that we bring to the table, and we share between us each other from around the world, and we might make ideas fly. But I really like to present and maybe share and have a break in our conversation, and also for our viewers to listen to the music and the track, and let us think how we can make ideas fly. What do you think, my friends?
Sounds brilliant.
Sounds brilliant. I'll find the favorite sound. I think it will be the historical sound from COP28. I put it loud.
This world is all we got, so we must save the planet, save it now, yeah. Kill it, mama. Kill it, mama. Kill it, mama. Kill it, mama. Yeah. Dignity is the key to unlock your consciousness towards the environment. Yeah, nature is alive and nature has feelings. Don't you hurt its feelings? You are human, and just stop being the reason why nature ain't healing. Good does not come from having good intentions, or even by acting on them. But good comes from accepting that the good dreaming of a day when we shall heal the world. Transform yourself, it's for you, it's the solution. A limit to oil, gas and coal makes me happy. This world is all we got, so we must save the planet, save it now. Yeah. Good originates from accepting that there are limits. Good comes from limits. Rethink those choices, chunga vile una purchase. Think of your consumption. What's the point? I mean, transformational ownership is for you. It's for you, yeah. Are you ready now? Are you dreaming of a day when we shall heal the world? Transform yourself, it's for you, it's the solution. A limit to oil, gas and coal makes me happy. This world is all we got, so we must save the planet, save it now. Yeah. Dancing in the rain, what gives you joy? Owning my challenges, what gives you joy? Being alive, what gives you joy? Having fun, hey. Transformational ownership, yeah. Hey yo, listen, everyone, You are welcome to the party. Dreaming of a day when we shall heal the world. Transform yourself, it's for you, it's the solution. A limit to oil, gas and coal makes me happy. This world is all we got, so we must save the planet, save it now, yeah. Dignity is the key to unlock your consciousness towards the environment. Yeah, nature is alive and nature has feelings. Don't you hurt its feelings. You are human. And just stop being the
We are humans. Don't hurt our feelings. So
Absolutely.
thank you, David.
Indeed.
Thank you, David, for bringing along this book that you produced that is going to tell the story from everyone to the leaders of the world, to the business leader of the world, to ordinary people.
Well, we need, as Sadaf describes, what we need is actually the voice of all the ordinary people. I think her description is really right. You know, the way we deal with this is to anchor it down into the things that affect us all today.
Yes.
You know, the air pollution in Lahore, they need to be tackled. You can't go along and say, oh, I'll tackle, you know, oil and gas and coal without actually saying it's for that. David, you know, and us, we had a conversation last night, and we were talking about the life of indigenous people. And it starts from there. By focusing on those things, that's how you get to realize the money you spend actually helps you in the lives that you have every day. And that's how it comes about. So what the way Sadaf has described it is exactly right.
Thanks, David. So it was a very, I think, good discussion. I really enjoyed it. Inger, can we stop the music now? Thank you. Inger has been a really good DJ. So our next session is going to start. Farzana Khan has joined us all the way from UK, where David is right now. Before we bring her on stage, I'll ask Inger to play the amazing intro video of the COP28 for It's For You. Thanks, Inger, for playing the beautiful intro video for COP28. So, for our online viewers, today is the 12th day of COP28, and the closing ceremony we're going to be kicking off soon at Pakistan time 9 p.m. Do also join us. But let's start our very interesting session today. I'm going to welcome my guest, Farzana Khan, who's joined us all the way from UK. She's an influential industry expert, international tourism management. She has been working with financial services, government, and female led support projects. Farzana has lived and worked in China, Philippines, Sweden, and the UK. And since the age of 14, she has been passionate about tourism, travel, climate change, business, and progressed her way through postgraduate education, which eventually led her to set up her own business in London. Advisor to the Pakistan Dream 2028. Hi, Farzana. Welcome to the It's For You campaign we are running for COP28, which is happening in Dubai. How are you doing today? Good morning.
I'm great. Good morning. So good to see you all. I see some familiar faces. Hi, Iram. How so nice to see you. I'm doing great. And thank you so much for the invitation.
I'm very well. Thank you. It's really good to see you.
It's all great here.
Sorry. So before Farzana, you share your presentation, I'm going to introduce my whole team who's behind this, running this whole campaign. Inger Met is joining us all the way from Oslo, Norway. She's a co-founder of World Climate School. Richard and David are the co-founder of this Rethinking Choices and It's For You campaign, and they're both based in London. So Inger, Richard, and David, can you just say hello to Farzana?
Inga, thank you. Hey. Nice to meet you all. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you on this very important matters of the world while things are happening in Dubai. It just shows you that one does not need to take your plane. You can do, thank goodness for technology, that we can create without carbon footprints in our own rooms. So yes, it's a great opportunity to do this, and more so, and hopefully maybe one day COP will become virtual to speak, globally about these matters without causing any damage to, as you said, the air, the pollution, and the rest.
Thank you so much, Farzana. Are you ready so that I play your presentation?
Absolutely.
Okay, just give me a moment.
As Sadiv's introduced me today, my name is Farzana Khan. I'm based in London, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about my journey, how I arrived, and what the solutions I think today, armed with all the experience that I had firsthand and so forth. Next slide. So here we have, if you can put the Rumi's quote in there, this is a passionate area of mine that has become, actually, never did I think as a child that flooding and the environment would be a passion of mine. I love the idea of what water can do to you and what water can give you. And I want to start with this line. I love Rumi as a poetry. Water is a medium that hid and shows what is hidden. So meaning that the beauty of water has to be respected. And one of the things I noticed going through this wonderful trip with Sadaf and Iram and Aruj Malik is the beauty of aggressive rivers, beauty of the rivers around the world and the seas and oceans that we have to respect. And over time, I've noticed, we've all noticed, that there's been a regard, a disrespect to this very beauty that's causing catastrophe around the world. Next slide. So my introduction to COP, the whole COP journey was when I visited Garland with Sadaf a couple of years ago. I saw some beauty around Garland, but I also saw some damage around, catastrophes ready to happen. And it was the buildings, these beautiful rivers that were coming out of aggressive natural beauty. And on the side of it, you've seen buildings such as hotels and homes and restaurants built on the bank of these rivers. And I would think to myself, goodness, first of all, how did they get permission to do this? And second of all, what if something happens? The first damage will be the businesses and the community around that. And so I decided to embark on that. But just going back a little bit, somebody who's born and raised as a migrant daughter, interest, as I've said, at 14, of tourism, I realized the benefit of it. And then I decided to embark on this journey of tourism and not medicine or science. Sorry, that's what the parents wanted to do. And it took me to China. It took me to China. It took me to Philippines. It took me to all these countries. And so therefore, I got to see the world in a way that normally I wouldn't have had. So I embarked on this journey in China, and I realized there's a lot of good things happening in the world, but there's also lots of bad things happening in the world. So this photo here, I decided to go to Pakistan after 30 years to introduce a project called the Pakistani Dream. And it was basically to revitalize the tourism industry, the perception of Pakistan. And this is where I met Sadaf and Iram and a few others. And they inspired me to do more, which I'm grateful for. And so I went to Pakistan. You've seen some pictures here in the middle of COVID. And just from one area of Pakistan to the other, I don't know if many people have visited Pakistan, but it's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I've lived in 7 countries and I've also worked there. Pakistan was the element of surprise, and I'm grateful for Sadaf on the Silk Road Summit, who took me to Malam Jabba all the way down to Gwadar. The untapped potential of this country, and the people are one of the most hospitable people in the world. It just meant the journey has to continue from here. So here I'm in Pakistan, and then a year later I decided to embark on the journey to COP27. And COP27 was somewhat, it's never was in the plan to go and do this. The reason I did it was because right at the moment of time when Galam was having the floods, I noticed the narrative was, oh, the emerging market, the emerging world, oh, they have their floods, the catastrophes. It's almost the West is resigned to it. There's no connectivity to, oh, the floodings in Galam. But actually, the reality is there was flooding outside my doorstep. And that doorstep is called Kensington. And I embarked on a journey to COP27 and said, I'd like to come and have a chat for 2 reasons. First, to check if there's any substance to all the noise that goes on in these COPs. And also to take my flag, the Union Jack and the Pakistani flag, almost like a protest, but it wasn't. And when I pulled out the flags at this COP27, they would say in Egypt, what is this? And I said, what do these 2 flags have in common? And they would go, what? And I said, flooding. It's not them versus us, it's all of us. So here we are at COP27, here's Pakistan. Next slide, please. So my story so far. So you see, born in Yorkshire, and I've always had my eye on the world. And that is such a good statement, because Yorkshire, where I'm born, is sort of a little village, and you are very consumed into the village. And for some people, it's enough that is the village. For me, the village was the world. I always took interest in the world. But the path of the world took me and led me to here. Next slide. So my first degree, as I said, was tourism. And that was a big thing because in my culture, and this is a very important thing, and I'm hoping and I'm seeing the world is changing towards, especially the emerging world. We're so fixated on technology and science and industry and agriculture. I think that's wonderful. But tourism is always seen a soft topic, a soft subject, a soft economy. And this is something that really rubbed me up the wrong way. Even in my household, when I took the first degree, and my father said, what is a tourism degree? And it took 25 years to convince him. And after moving into the Project Pakistan, and he saw that, and 3 years before his death, he made a phone call to me and he goes, I see the value of it. I understood that tourism has a direct correlation to every industry. The minute that comes from transport, agriculture, food, technology, science, everything has an impact in tourism, and tourism from a local level to a national level. So all these places I've went, I felt I'm armed with all the goods. Next slide, please. Again, Sweden. I didn't get to Norway, but I did meet a lot of Norwegians living in Sweden, so I got a feel of it. UK, all of it. I've lived in 7 countries, but also 11 cities in the UK, from Yorkshire all the way down to London. So it gives me an idea of what's going on. And actually, there's a lot of catastrophe. People don't know what's happening in the UK. We have flooding on a yearly basis. And the catastrophe of the flooding in the West is loss of businesses, loss of the economics. But in emerging countries, we see loss of life more. And this doesn't sit well with me. And I thought, I've got to find a solution. Next slide. So here I am. Just a little bit of background of who I am and where I arrived. I live in London. I have 2 daughters as well. And I'm part of the school. So there's 1,400 children here. So everything that I do, I'm always constantly thinking about the future, the children. What can we do for the next generation? How can we get them involved to take things that I think are serious, that they need to take seriously because of the impact it will have on all of us? Next slide. So, so the Pakistani Dream 2028 is a blueprint. It started 4 years ago. And it sort of started, the brainchild, I guess, was when I was in China. And I couldn't understand that why China, excuse no disrespect to anyone, you know, the West is very good at telling the rest of the world what their issues are. And one of the things is the narrative in the UK is, oh, China has the worst human rights and India has the worst women violations. But yet the world is still going and investing. And I couldn't understand in 1995 that why does Pakistan not have a chunk of this change, especially in tourism visitors? In addition to that, the business, and I thought the Laka means one region in Urdu. The Laka is one, but we're not getting the fruits of that Laka. And that really didn't sit well with me. So I launched the Pakistani Dream. It's a blueprint. It's called the People's Dream. And we launched the first in Pakistan in 2019. And for me, that is for the whole nation. We are the 5th populous country in the world. I wanted one vision, and the vision was to become #1 tourist destination by 2028. And trust me, it's not far-fetched. It's one of the most beautiful countries. It has 4 climates in one day. It has the most hospitable people, and France and Portugal's rated it 5 years in a row that the people are amazing. We are not Dubai that has just the sand, the desert, and created the world. This is a God-given natural beauty. And the 80%, I say the 80% of the country is there. It's just a 20% of tweaking and getting the country ready and getting it ready in a very sustainable way. And that became a serious passion of mine. And that's where my energies are lying as well. And seeing the world here, the map of the world, how big it is. This is our world, but actually it's really, really a small world. And it's not them and us. It's not the emerging world and the emerged world. It really is an issue for all of us. And this is very important where I went to COP27 is to say, please stop talking like that. The World Bank was there. Everyone's there, as you know. And I said, you need to get this narrative about 2 things. One is that we are a world that is emerged, whether you like it or not. This is how it's happening. This is what's going on. So get this mindset change. As I've said, the most populous country. Next slide. Instead of the next slide, please. Thank you. And this is, I'm just showing those who haven't visited Pakistan, the beauty. It's really spot for choice. Keep going, Sedef, please. And Sedef's probably very aware of all this. Like I said, in the same day, you can have 3 things. This is go skiing in Malam Jabba. This is Princess of Hope, Negavadar. It's a 10-hour drive of unspoiled, untapped potential, unspoiled beaches, which we're looking for investment for that, but in a sustainable way. Next slide. There you are. Next slide. So what does tourism do from a local level? I'll give you an example. While we're in Gwadar, we stopped in a resort that was being built, and we had 3 generations of women. And I can remember it pointedly. There was a daughter, mother, grandmother, and they were beggars. And the skin was burnt. They were just going to ask for money. And I looked and I stopped the car and I said to them, we gave them money, obviously, but I said to them, this is an opportunity. And I showed him a bracelet and I said, if you can make little bracelets and sell them, and that's part of the tourism system. And that would lift your next generation out of this mindset of begging, but also to the community understand what tourism does from a very, very, very ground level, local level. And this is what I'm trying to do with the world, is saying that tourism is one of the most important industries for Pakistan, to tap in, to change it for everyone, not just a few, everyone. Next one, next slide. Okay, just like I wanted to just bring this up, and Sadaf said it in her presentation a couple of days ago. I was invited to go to COP28 this year, and I decided to go against it. And the reason behind that is obviously what's going on in the world. We cannot ignore what's going on with the genocide that's taking place. So UAE's stance was very quiet. I don't know why. It really upset me. And I felt, for two-part reason, that I sort of know what the COPs are all about. There's always one thing that comes out of it. And one of the things that happened at COP27 is flooding and the catastrophe that's going on in the world. I guess it's a penalty / reward. I don't know. It's basically the outcome of COP27 was, we as the Western world need to create a fund to help the catastrophes in the emerging world. And so I thought, I feel I already know what goes on in the COP27. And more importantly, I didn't want to go. I didn't feel compelled to go to Dubai with the crisis that's going on in the world, and a very heartfelt situation. And I just feel, no, I cannot go. And also the carbon footprint, it's perhaps I can do all this from here. And that's why I took the opportunity with Sadaf to do this. Next slide. So that's my takeaway. I mean, the picture itself says it all. You know, all these great things are happening. And whether it's G20 summit or whether it's COP27 or COP28, you weigh out. You know, here we're talking about the environment, and in Switzerland alone, they have 40 private jets that fly in. It's kind of insulting, and it's not very intelligent. And, you know, we're having intelligent conversations, but we're doing some things that are not intelligent. Next slide, please. So as then the bad, unfortunately, in many ways, it seems that too much noise and not enough substance. We witnessed so many world leaders fly over in private planes, stamping in an apparently admissible carbon footprint, only for very little resolution to be reached. And that's so true. That, and even I saw the statement from King Charles, he said that all of a sudden it's become a sexy subject, and all of a sudden too many things are happening at once. Slow down. Mother Earth cannot deal with this rush. It's like the human nature. If you get bombarded with 20 things, you just go, take a deep breath. And he's saying the same. Slow down, you changers, you environmental. It's good to fly the flag, but let's just take in account and do it responsibly. And I agree with that. The good, however, I'm pleased to hear that the motion, as I discussed before, that they did come out, that there is a fund put together, but it's not enough. It's not enough in my eyes. And I tell you why. Next slide. I always say, in the world that we live, we are one of the most powerful. We're 8 billion. Two things came out of COP27 besides this fund. One was, and they say it very casually in a presentation, which threw me, actually. So, by the way, we have a population is now planted that we have 8 billion, and we have 54 wars going on. I think I fell off my chair. And I just, after that presentation, I went running after the COP UN person who was discussing. I said, maybe have a talk. And I said, how did you say that so casually in a conversation, especially the war side of it? And that's another thing where the environment is being impacted, which nobody discussed, is what's going on in the Middle East and their statistics of 54 wars. These deals, I'm sorry to get heavy, the arm deals and all this stuff happening, these bombs are hitting our Mother Earth. There has to be an impact on this. 5 earthquakes happen collectively. 8 floods happen globally from one part of the country to the other. We have to start thinking about this. And maybe this is a good argument to take to the world leaders and say, stop bombing Mother Earth, not each other. Stop hurting our ground. Stop hurting and testing our waters. You're doing this, and there's a catastrophe to this. And we've seen that every single day, not just in Galam and around the world. We're also seeing it in UK, outside my doorstep. Kensington, the most expensive city in the world, as far as I'm concerned, is flooding on a yearly basis. Next slide, please. So here's a few recent, as Galam Sadaf showed you a couple of days ago. Let's just put them all out, Sadaf. It's heartbreaking. And here's some more. Now have a look at these photos very closely. So these aren't scenes of Gallam. This is outside my street in London this year, last year. Keep going, please. And this, just to reiterate, it's not them and us, it's all of us. It's all of us. And one of the things, next slide, please. And these pictures is very important because this happened recently. 8 places in the world that have different climates, different regions, different weathers, have a common denominator. It's called flooding. It's happening everywhere. And this is something that we really need to consider, how it's happening and how we manage it. Next slide. But also, which is really important, as I was saying, what is the solution? Yes, we have solutions. Building, I put this in a test of time. Infrastructure, one of the things in Kensington, we've just done the studies, feasible studies, the damage of business, I think we had 1 loss of life, and the damage of business was responsibility was put in the hands of the water company, the private companies, and the maintenance of them. We know the population has grown. In England, London alone, it's 12 million. We say on paper it's 10 million, but it wasn't 10 million once upon a time. So you can manage 2 million, but you can't manage 10 million. So what you need to do, you need to make sure that infrastructures are in place, the government, the private companies working together in the interest of the public who pays. But next slide, look at all these buildings, the test of times, the pyramids, the Great Wall of China, each one of them have had serious weathers, serious storms and earthquake, but they stood the test of time. So we need to look at this, of how they built historically, to take some of the old methods and incorporate it with new technologies. Next slide. Japan and California, next slide, are 2 countries, areas of the world that are experts at this. Japan's mastered it with the earthquakes, they build infrastructure, and California has the worst weather, the experts, and they've got contingency. Next slide. They have contingency plans, and this is my solution, the people power. So they say that if you have an Android phone in your hand, if I'm outside and something happened, whether a crime or anything, I will record it on my phone and send it all over the world before the police, the reporters, the agency come. So we are that powerful. And I want the public to understand how powerful they are, because I call it the phone makes it an innocent society in one sense, because we have first-hand experience, but we need to be responsible with it. I feel the same with the flooding and catastrophes of the world. We know, as much as I say it with a heavy heart, that things are not going to get any better in some sense, because the population growth, development's going to continue, the private companies will continue to do what they want. But what we can do is take some control back. The government and the private companies should not have the full control. The people need to have the control. What do I mean by that? So, for example, flooding, we know the meteorologists are telling us that there's going to be weather, a storm. So be prepared for that. What do I mean by that? Have emergency evacuation mindset. We have a friend who has a house in Oxford. He has 2 daughters, just in a house with 3 floors. He does an evacuation program with a step ladder outside, a drop ladder for his daughters. They do these runs. I actually think we need to start thinking like that, because what's the ultimate thing we want to do is save life. At that moment of time, it's not about your private properties, it's about your life. So I think we have to get into this mindset of, right, what can we do to help ourselves? The government's doing what they can. They make their noise and whatever they do because of policies and so forth. The private companies will follow what the government policies, but they also have their own agendas. Our agenda should be, what can I do at this moment of time to save my life in the moment of crisis? So get those into place. And that's what I want the public to know, is take some of that control back and have this mindset of saving yourself in the moment of time. I don't want to put fear mongering. I think life is all about preparation, and in this case, evacuation. And what can we do to protect ourselves in that moment of time? Next, final slide, I think it should be. And I wanted to finish off with Rumi again. Say, let the water settle. You will see the moon and the stars mirrored in your being. Start respecting the water. Start taking care of the water globally, locally, and see what we have to do. And it might be a good way to start for the world to look at one aspect of Mother Nature and say, let's see what we can do to preserve the water wherever it comes from. And let's see the repercussions of that. Perhaps this is the way to go. I don't know. So this is my view of where I.
Wow, Farzana, I was just watching your presentation and it was so brilliant. Seriously, I had tears in my eyes when you showed all the flooding pictures backstage. Can I ask Iram to mute herself? I think there's a background noise. Thank you. So, yeah, so questions from Farzana. David, I'll start from you. What a presentation. We've had so many presentations in 12 days of COP. I think for the closing ceremony, Farzana did quite well. Yes, David, over to you. And please, your views on the presentation and ask a question from Farzana as well.
I think we're neighbors, actually. So you're muted, I think, Farzana.
Forgive me. I was just saying thank you. We should get together for coffee because I live in Notting Hill, so where the floods take place.
Yes, the other side of the park.
Okay.
So absolutely. And my son sent me a picture similar to the one you had of the taxi driving through the rain. As he was on a bus one day, and he sent this along, and he says, look, this is us here. And absolutely right. We had, at the beginning of the year, when California was flooding, there was a picture taken by the fire department there, and we put it on one of our kind of flyers at the time, and we were speaking with a young man in Kenya, and he saw the picture and said, "Is that Malawi?" And we were saying, "No, that's California. That's actually where the stars are living." Wow. And it's exactly the image you show. It's exactly that aspect. It's not this place or that place, as in, somehow the rain don't come here because we've got a border that keeps them out. The climate devastations, they don't respect any of the borders and the boundaries that we would like to establish in our kind of in the thinking we've come far too used to. We are all together in this. So the question really very much is, from our side, and love to talk to you together on this, is that we believe we can actually, as individuals, as you're talking about, have that power to keep oil and gas and coal in the ground in that way, to do the steps that the governments are finding it hard to be able to do, because we, at the end of the day, are the ones who spend the money that goes into the businesses, that goes back to the taxes, that goes back to the government, that then goes up into the international negotiations, that gets stuck at the international negotiations into pieces of paper. And we can actually cut short that whole process in that way. So it'd be lovely to have a chance to get together, to connect along there, and absolutely about the businesses being affected. That's where we actually think the biggest risk to the world as we know it is, because our economy is so intertwined that couples every part together in that way.
I agree. I think, you said absolutely spot on that, even in yours, when your son said, look, it's happening to us. I think that I want a narrative to change. I want wording. Wording is so important to say that it's all of us. And I think the mindset has to be that. Even in COP27, it was almost, talking to World Bank, she goes, I know Pakistan really well. Really, I've been there for years, kind of a flippant comment. But even this whole idea, let's take care of and put this fund together. We as a developing nation, and studies have shown this, everybody will agree that the development, the speed of the West has had an impact. That's why the fund came out. But I think I really want the world to start thinking that how can we work together on these issues? And going back on that last slide of the Rumi's quote, let's look at one aspect. If we did, like King Charles said, that I don't want you doing too many things. If we all focus and say, let's preserve the water all over the world, whether it's the ocean, the sea, the rivers, And let's do everything to preserve, to see, to respect it, whether it's a height fallen river and the beautiful, I call it the most beautiful, aggressive river in a natural form was in Gallam. Really stunning. You just don't want to mess with that. You just want to admire it, respect it, understand it, and just say, let's work around it. Rather than going there and say, we'll do what we want to do and build around it. And then when catastrophe happens. So I think collectively the world needs to get on maybe some, I mean, there's little flooding things that go on. I met a couple of organizations, government-led, UK government-led, based in London, and their voices were not very big. And I just thought, right, is it another tokenism, tick the box? I think collectively we could get together and think, how can we preserve the water? Because listen, 85% of our body is water. And they say that it's very important how you cook it.
Exactly.
See? And so if you preserve, so if we water 85, and they say that if you have a bad day, that your energy changes and then negative like attracts like. I mean, let's take it down to the human level. So let's take it to the national level. Let's do everything in our power to preserve that one thing of water. Your fixation, imagine for the next 3-4 years, COP28, we want to preserve water. Let's look at everything about water. And let's also get water to everyone on the planet. You know, you just, sometimes I'm baffled by how much water is wasted. And God gives us all these floodings, and I think certain parts of the world don't get water. So we need to start thinking like that.
Thank you, Farzana. Over to you, Inga.
Yes, thank you, Sadaf, and of course, thank you, Farzana. When I listen to your PowerPoint presentation, it's all about love, because Rumi is also all about love, and it's a love for the beauty of water. And from my journey, it's been a journey of the blue planet and the green footprints. And I've always said, what's wrong with us human? It's like Earth is like Earth, and that's the land. And from where we put our feet into the water, it's like you can throw anything in the sea or in any river or any lake. You can hide a boat in the in an ocean, and all the waste and sewage system goes straight into our rivers and the waterways. So you're so right about the magic of water, and it's a water planet. And for many years, I've been saying that we had to shift the narrative. It's not Earth, but it's water. Literally, it's water planet. So I hear a story about beauty and a love for the natural beauty of Pakistan, and a story that Pakistan can shift the narrative of the planet. Right now, it's like, let's look after the flooding, but it's also the particle pollution in the air, which is also then and how the water and the trees are cultivating. It's a water story. It's called the blue waters, not the green waters. It's also like the trees are also having these small drops of water in the dew, the morning dew, and even my plants inside in my apartment is also having the water dew on the leaves, some of them, you know. And we are water. So this is actually you talk about a love story that is a spiritual journey for humanity, and for me that has been the story since the landing on the moon. And us ladies between us, we've been laughing, said let's talk to the man on the moon and getting down to the earth. Because when you look at when NASA was trying to show the photos from the moon, or they saw a blue planet, and that is the atmospheric cover, and that is protecting the blue ball flying in the cosmos. So it's like, but I really believe that technology and the videos and the films that are coming out is presenting that a heartfelt love for our common home, and that is let's come together. And it's not my country against your country. It's like we're all connected. And you're so right, and you explained that so beautifully and with integrity, that the story of war that's going on in the Middle East is actually, I had that thought in my heart as well, but I haven't shared it. That is why we should have taken a stand, and that should be a peace message coming out of Dubai that they're not using. and you know, I'm sure every heart, we're crying on the planet these days for what's happening in the Middle East, and the brutality that we present to each other. So
Thank you,
please,
Inger, for the beautiful remarks and peace. And the interview, when I was watching my interview later, I thought maybe I shouldn't have said it. But my father said that you were really bold enough to say it. So don't be shy, whatever you think,
Sadaf, I agree with you. My daughter, who's 20 years old, a medical student at home with me, she said, "Mummy, I don't think you should say that." I said, "Absolutely not. It's very important to face the elephant in the room, because then we're sort of hypocritical. You have to take into account, and it also sort of takes us into the narrative. And I'm grateful that you did, because it inspired me to do it, but I would have done it anyway. So basically, take the conversation about that, we don't talk about it, and I think it's important to talk about it and make those accountable to say, "Excuse me, stop testing those equipment, whatever you say." I don't want to say it on our planet, Mother Earth, in our water. You're testing the waters. Maybe there is a correlation to the testings in the water having the earthquakes and the tsunamis of the world. We don't know, but there is an element of that. We can't be shy away for that, and that alone might be a good way to make the world accountable, that actually what you're making in the factories, to actually just a tit for tat sort of serious conflict between two, but is actually another element to it, and that is what you're doing to our environment. If you're testing these equipment, I can't use the word out, but must be, and that's something, it might be a good narrative to get out. And just going back to Ingrid, I'm making a couple of notes here about you. I love the fact that you said it's the water story. And there's something else you said that, and I like that, to say it's just a water story, that an important water story around the world, that let's get it right. Let's pay attention to it. And just on the Rumi, I decided to embark on a 7-destination journey with my children to Turkey, the Ottoman Empire. And I was trying to do it on a cost-effective way with 2 children in the middle of August. As you know, it's an expensive time. And so we were trying to get to Cappadocia, which is another beautiful place on the planet. God-given, Turkey has had earthquakes and flooding. Out of that has come such beautiful places. And I thought, well, I wish everything would happen like that, because you've now become Cappadocia, a beautiful destination out of I think it was a volcano. But anyway, I was traveling there. It was going to be 20 hours. We thought we'll stop halfway. And we stopped in Konya. And Konya was Rumi's place of burial. So I had 3-4 days there. Such a tranquil place. I really recommend it. And you're absolutely right. It is about preserving the water. And I think it would be a great place to start that discussion and intensify that discussion and start getting the world to recognize, okay, let's, instead of, as King Charles has said, that let's not do too many things too quickly. Let's focus. And maybe I might write to him and ask him to say, can we put the energy on that one subject of water and preservation of it and respect it, to understand it? And if we all get behind it, the effect would be amazing. I strongly believe that.
Farzana rightly saying. So I'll bring Iram into conversation, because women power, we were talking about women involvement in climate projects across the globe, is a very strong voice. Looking at Greta Thunberg and so many other strong voices. So Iram, your question to Farzana, you already know her presentation was brilliant. What's your take, and exchange your views and do ask question, and I'll rather focus on solutions, what we can do for 2024.
Thank you so very much, Madam Sadef. And it has always been a pleasure working with Madam Farzana, because it's been an acquaintance with her a long time ago. And it was a fun trip. Plus, we had a very nice conversations, and the vision and the missions are the same. So, Madam Farzana, the entire your PDF was very impressive, and you've been doing an amazing job on the tourism and all that. How can we women, as being to empower them into the field of tourism? What we can do together so that we can bring more women in to make a difference to grow up our GDP in Pakistan?
It's a very good question. And Iram, it's really nice to speak to you. I've had some really good times on this trip in Silk Road. I got to learn a lot as a Western woman. I'm Pakistani by parents, but raised in with the mindset and the ideologies a lot of the Western. So I'm very influenced by the West. It's just the nature of the beast. It is my home. But what's also great that having to speak the language of Urdu, my mother didn't speak English. She still doesn't. She's in English. She's 80 now. And my father did. So luckily I picked up the language and I was able to understand, because the panel, there was a team of women, and we got to see the beaches of Gwadar, launching in Karachi, Islamabad, Galam, and sort of navigated this whole thing. So I congratulate you on that again. And then one of the beautiful things was managing around a very cold Galam climate, but beautiful. It was like the Swiss chalet building Galam, which was your home, sort of your resort. And I learned something about these women. And I remember I just watched a video the other day, and I looked at my archives because we were looking for photos for the presentation. And I remember saying to the women, and we heard, all the stories. And I said, women, ladies, you may be in Pakistan in the mountains or Hindus valleys. The women have the same issues in England. We're all connected. So it's obviously those issues. But yes, there's 8 billion people on the planet. 4 billion of those are female. Let me give you a statistic which might throw you. And our David, I don't know if you know this, but there's 51% of women contribute to the economy in the UK. And as an entrepreneur, I was a woman who set up a business to try to get these loans and bank accounts. I had hurdles. And hurdles were ridiculous based on gender. And actually, Rose, who's the CEO of, after she was promoted, after she made this statement, she's with NatWest Bank, she said that £1 billion are kept away from females, businesses and enterprises in the UK. Can you digest that for a minute? This is UK, United Kingdom. We are 51% of the economy contributors, but we are kept. So what I'm trying to say, the message is that we still got learning curves in this country too. And it's very important that the emerging world understands that, we West don't have it right yet. We are constantly fighting. I'm fighting the flag for females, the two passions, tourism, flooding came with that, but female as well. I've set up a small fund, which I'm working on, hope to launch, is the power of the mindset. One of the most important things for me is going back to the flooding of that collective mindset. The female fund is connecting 4 billion in the interest of 8 billion. So it's so important to recognize, first of all, if I can say to Pakistan and the world, is understand it's not a soft subject, tourism. It's an amazingly important one that anyone can benefit from that as a small entrepreneur to big entrepreneur. So, for example, the ladies, the 3 generations of women who can make a bracelet like this, well, it's nothing. Little beads on a string. I'm happy to pay for that, to understand, to break that tradition of begging, of there's no hope. So the next generation, she was 6 years old, this beautiful little girl. Imagine giving a woman family that opportunity to say, we are going to allow you to use tourism for your visitors to make this. We will provide you the basics to make that. You change and break the mindset. So Pakistan, first of all, if I can suggest you as women, is to get the word out about the importance of it and take it at the local level. And that, what does that money do then? That little bit of money gets into, okay, perhaps we can go into school and send the little girl into education, pay for her schooling rather than be walking the streets with us to beg. So it's that ecosystem, what it creates, the knock-on effect of that. Mm-hmm. So women need to come forward. I have to say, I was very impressed. And I hadn't visited Pakistan for 30 years. And I came when I was a child because my sisters got married there. And grandparents passed away. We have home and land in Pakistan, which I've got to find and sort that out. I'm turning one of them into a resort, an eco resort. And also because my father wanted to be a teacher and he came to this country to run the textile industry, we're going to open a little free school. So that's in the program to do that. And that is all about creating an ecosystem of working. Just, the land my parents left, it was utilized. It was my parents' fault. I'm sorry. I told my parents, I said, well, they've taken over growing maize to feed themselves. I said, you will not take the land back. This is their livelihood. What you can do is redevelop it and give them work opportunities and let the women lead it, because women are strong in the villages. The women are strong all over the world. And more women.
Thank you, Farzan. I mean, look, I'm coming back now. We have to gender equality.
Yeah, we're all fathers, I mean, the men here have mothers, daughters, sisters. You know, it's not about, again, them and us. The women, when women talk about women, it has a direct impact on the men because it helps.
Exactly. Now, coming back to Richard, has been patient enough, the last one, to ask your question. Richard and David basically come from the banking sector of, I think, more than 30 years, if I'm not wrong. And how they ended up working on sustainability in It's For You campaign is that they've written a beautiful book, Unsustainable Truth. It's available on Kindle, Farzana. You must read it. I'll share the link with you, or also it's on Amazon, the hard copy. So, Richard, you've heard Farzana patiently, your question, your thoughts, and Farzana, get ready. It's For You team is growing and growing, and you'll be part of this campaign soon as well. So over to you, Richard.
I just wanted to start by thanking you for the presentation and raising issues which are extremely close to my heart. Like you, I'm a fellow UK resident. I'm a little bit further out, so I'm about 7 o'clock beyond Wimbledon. So I'm a suburban, normally commuting up to London. But something I think we all share here, and I think we're pretty good at expressing it, is that we have moved the whole climate debate far beyond us and them.
Yeah.
10 years ago, it was very much a feeling, I don't even know what this country is, and people just didn't care. And all of a sudden, the events of the last, I would say 36 months, the Kensington flooding was shocking. I grew up in Sweden, as the accent will tell you, and Stockholm has never had climate issues other than the fact that our winters are getting milder, and I notice that when I go back. However, this summer, we locked down the whole of Stockholm because of the rain that hit the tunnels, and we couldn't pump the water out. And it was really a wake-up call for people saying, we have no traffic coming in and out. Stockholm is now effectively locked down, as you would do if it was a terrorist event. I'm sure there's some backup plan for how you're going to deal with it. But this was water flooding all the tunnels in and out of the city. And that is the moment when I think a large part of the population starts feeling it's not us and them. It's like, we're all in this together. But how do you reach the remaining portion of the world who are still reasoning in the sense that, oh, it's not me. I'm not bothered because it's not happening to me. There is still definitely people I encounter saying, oh, climate here is not going to get that bad. It's just going to be the Mediterranean. And I don't go there anymore because it's too hot. So, not so bothered. How do you reach these people saying...
Are you talking about me again, Richard?
No. Because what the events have shown clearly is no one's insulated anymore. You might be affected less, you might be affected more, but everyone is affected.
Richard, is a very good point. Actually, two visuals came through my head, and I think sometimes the head works over time. I was thinking the countries that don't, perhaps a message to them that it could happen to you. And my visual in my head came that maybe a video campaign, and saying, let's say a country, give me an example, a country that doesn't have flooding right now. I can't think. So who would? If you made a video of them who are really like, it doesn't happen to us, it's not important. Perhaps make a little video and say, if it did happen, it could happen to you. This is what it would look like. So maybe look at globally, just taking that one water issue, the beauty of water and what it can do if you don't respect it, what it can do. And maybe perhaps those countries who do not have the floodings, who are detached from it, perhaps send them that and say, I'm just wanting to make you that, God forbid it should happen. We don't want that, but we just want you to be aware if it was to happen. For them to have the school of thought that actually there is a point here that perhaps we need to take it into account. And maybe the missing countries can add the dot and just sign up, all of us sign up. Perhaps even more, Richard, is to look at and just do a sign up for the world. Every 300 countries, under 300 countries on the planet. Say, can you sign up? Do you have water in your country? And if they say, no, we don't have flooding, they said, did you turn the tap up and drink water? Yes. So you're connected. Let's all connect on that basis. Water is part of us. Our bodies are waters. So let's talk from there. So maybe a connectivity on some campaign to say, sign in, because you're all opt-in, aren't you? Because every one of us, there's waters connected. We need water. We drink water. Yeah. Then take it to the next step and say, right, you're connected. Now let's take it to the next level. So out of all these countries, let's say 70% of us have some form of flooding. And if somebody who doesn't have flooding and say, we don't do flooding, say, I'm sure your bath's flooded once. So find that narrative on a smoke. I always say to start to the local level. I even say to my children, never be overwhelmed by the government's house. It's no different to your house here. I said there's a bit more responsibilities, but you break it down. So breaking it down to people about water. Do you drink water? Tick, you're opt-in. Have you had any flooding outside? No. Ever had flooding inside the house? Yes. Washing machine broke, the house is flooded. I live in Kensington, David. I have a lot of problems in my lovely luxury apartment. Flooding on a regular basis. So it's becoming a narrative in my home. So it's in my psyche even more so at a very local level, not just outside, inside. So I think the connectivity of the humanity, human nature to understand. Let's talk about flooding, break it down, because sometimes people who are disconnected, you just show them that you have a bath, shower, flood, I'm like, there's your flooding. There's the word flooding. Let's get to a very, very small, minute level. Now take it to a national level. We're connected. So maybe, Richard, that's the new waves, getting them to understand at the human level. And I'm not talking government level. It's the human level, as somebody said it's not them and us. It's every one of us. And David said it, that the government are doing what they're doing, the companies are doing. Then we need to get into the hearts, as Ingrid said, the kindness of love. It's every human being, 8 billion of us, just say, this is what's going on. And even a child say, when you put too much water in the glass, it's flooding. So just without, taking it right down to that level, to national level, and then it connects with every human being. Say, yes, it does have an impact on all of us. Maybe, Richard, I don't know. Just these thoughts come to my head there.
Yeah. I mean, water is a thing of beauty. And I love winter sports more than being on the beach, to be fair, but it's still water at the end of the day I ski and skate on. But water can be horrific, absolutely horrific when it comes, because it's the brute force of nature, and man becomes very small, really, really small in the face of that kind of angry planet.
That is a visual itself, Richard. I mean, I think if you put that in a visual, here we are so reliant on that. And it's like, I almost see like an adult sitting with the biggest parent. And that's water. I mean, if you look at that visual, I'm standing there and looking at the bigger picture, who's really in charge? And it's just water. And just think, hey, start respecting. It's like a parent. You have to respect your parent. You know, if you're a CEO, you have to respect the CEO. It's the CEO of all CEOs. And that's what we need people to understand, that and that's not just water, the whole Mother Earth, as Ingrid said. It's all about loving it, respecting it, and understanding it, and giving it the respect. Like I always say, I know it sounds, I said, the River Galam to me, when I first saw it in its form, there was a bit of it. It was, oh gosh, I don't want to go anywhere near that, to mess around with that, because it's aggressive in its natural, beautiful form. Don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coming back to COP28 and Dubai today, also their amazing live ceremonies, closing sessions. Mr. Jinnah has joined us all the way from Karachi, Pakistan. He's also the all the core team member. And since we're talking about water, I'll ask Mr. Jinnah, and Farzana has joined us from UK. Mr. Jinnah, I think, knows as well. He was part of the Silk Road Summit. Sea pollution in Karachi is just like, if I talk about it, it will take hours and hours. But yes, Mr. Jinnah, your perspective on that. And also, if you have any question, you missed a beautiful presentation Farzana shared. You must watch the recording. She discussed about floods in Kensington. She lives there, talking about floods in Turkey, Pakistan, and all those perspectives. Over to you,
In
Mr.
Norway,
Jinnah.
we have floodings.
Okay, thank you, Sadaf. Hello, everyone. Hello, David, Robert, Farzana, Iram, and of course, Inga. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Yes, I've been working in this SDGs for last 5-6 years, and the reason I am involved, the Sadaf and Iram Inga, they're aware of it. They were because Karachi, of course, is a coastal city, and the goal number 14, life below water, it's very, very disturbed in Karachi and in Pakistan overall. And the water, you said, all the things are so bad, you cannot recognize, when you go to the ocean, you can't see blue or green ocean, you see all black ocean. It's all black there. It's very, very terrible, and all the things is happening, all the things which we should not do, it's happening there. So that's a very, very terrible situation. But again, we are doing the awareness program. The Inga, Sadaf, and Iram, they were part of it, and we are just creating awareness, and that's a one thing we did like to share. And also, regarding the COP 28, I'm very lucky, to be part of you guys. It's for you, and actually it's for me. It's not for you. Yeah, that's always been right. And so I'd like to thank everyone. We had a wonderful session, a lot of sessions we had, and and of course, after the show, when we have the post production things, it will definitely go in a long way. So that's my point. Thank you very much. Yes, over to you, Sadaf.
Jenna, can I just add that? Jenna, thank you so much. I'm glad you mentioned Karachi, because one of the things, my observation in Karachi was, it's a very vast city. It was the old capital. It's hugely populated. And it's a mindset, needs to be an education and mindset. Because one of the things, I got invited by somebody who took me and he goes, I'm just taking you to a hut. And they drove, and it's during the COVID time. So we managed to get through the traffic. The pollution was huge and not as bad as Lahore, I thought. And so anyway, we got to this hut, and it wasn't a hut. I was thrown, first of all, how the contrast of how amazingly very Beverly Hill. It wasn't a hut, it was a mansion, and it was done exquisitely, beautifully done. I thought I was in LA or Beverly Hills. And then I went to sit and went for a walk on the beach, and somebody said, don't put your feet in the water. And I was like, what? Sorry, what? But one of my observations I noticed was, we're sitting in this house with these big players, big bankers and so forth. And I went to the top floor because there was a fashion shoot taking place. And as I got up, right between each mansion, there was a pile of plastic bottles. And I looked and I went, Ali, can you come here? What is going on here? And he said, oh, that's just plastic. And carried on the conversation. I grabbed him back and I said, excuse me, you are on prime beauty here. You've built mansions of here. So obviously people who have money. But why are you not doing something about this plastic? Pick it up. First of all, aesthetically, it just throws in all the work that you've done. And second of all, it needs to, but it was a mindset. I noticed it was a mindset. And there was just blasé to it. So I think one of the things that we have to do with Karachi, without insulting anyone, is education, drilling it, getting the campaign. And just on that campaign, so when we had this Brexit vote, it's getting off topic, but just shows you what you're doing. The campaign to get the Brexit vote, you had believers and non-believers. Believers were just like religion, you're in or you're out. So we can't deal with them. That was the study, who believes in it. We had 3 million people in between who were here or there. So we had Cambridge Analytica, as they did, bombard 10 billion campaigns in your face through your devices to sway them. So the moral of the story is, start using what we all have access to, technology, and drill into the people who have the Androids about the importance of recycling, the importance of clean. At the end of the day, as I've said in my presentation before on a TV debut with Aruj Malik, a shout out to Aruj Malik, who's an amazing woman who was part of the team. I think she needs to be the education minister of Pakistan. Instead of you being, I've always said tourism minister. It's a mindset, telling them on a regular basis without them researching what it means, is get the campaign to bombard them with the environment, because it does have, Ingrid and everybody, that if you don't take the environment, not only is it death, but also ill health, pollution. Just last comment on the pollution. One of my observations of Lahore 2 years ago, it was my first time I went there. And the driver took me to a shopping district. It lasted 6 minutes. I said, I need to leave, please. I cannot breathe. I honestly could not breathe in this section. I came back to the room and I went, there's a solution to this right now. I can see an instant solution. We have a lot of people in Pakistan and Bangkok and the world, motorcycles.
Yes.
Now, motorcycles.
I just like to add one thing.
Motorcycles, all of this, and I've spoken to the prime ministers and people here, that converting a car into an electric car is not doable. It's too expensive. But a motorbike, switching the engine from petrol to is not costly. But that would reduce the pollution down. And people said, this is a good idea. We're looking at it. So stop looking at it and start implementing it. Because pollution is the biggest cancer. Even I have friends in Kensington. I live on Labrador Square Gardens. And right next door, we have a healthy guy. He's in the finance industry, 40 years old, 2 children, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. he's got lung cancer. They brought it down to him. So I'm telling you, if you can do these little things of implementation, baby steps, but the motorcycles are one things that we can convert from petrol to electric. It's worth doing it for the people.
Yes, Mr. Jinnah, you wanted to add in something? Then we
Yeah,
have
when the Pradhan said, there's some place she can't breathe. I used to live I spent a couple of years in Sheffield, and the place called Tinsley is near to the motorway. And same, there are huge chimneys there. In England, you have this culture of big
The only
chimneys.
place in the country that still has chimneys is Sheffield. You're right, even today.
And you can't breathe. When you say that you can't breathe, that reminds me, when I was in Sheffield, I had a problem to breathe because it's so toxic environment. It was so difficult. I don't know how things are like that. It's way back in 1987.
Mr. Jinnah, David and Richard can agree with me here that where I live in Kensington Harrow, in the European Union, we are rated the highest asthma is around here because of the A40. So again, it's a full loop in our presentation. It's not them, it's not us, it's all of us. And what is the common denominator? Disregard and disrespect for Mother Nature. So we need to start thinking about that. And when you bring it into somebody's home, just a last point of what I said to Richard, how do we connect those who think they are disconnected because it hasn't happened on their doorstep? Taking it to each other's homes and say, your child has asthma. If we don't fix it, your child will be asthma on an inhaler for the rest of their life. You cannot do that. If somebody came in and said to me, if your children will have this, I would take a deep breath and say, what do I need to do to prevent this? So I think we need to change the mindset and narrative, perhaps with Karachi alone and Lahore. And in Lahore, and India has some issue with the pollution flying into Pakistan. And in Europe, one of the things that France, UK did, and correct me if I'm wrong, David and Richard, that London penalized Paris for the pollution that was coming and hurting ours. So there was measures put in place and penalties put in place and tasks that you need to sustain that. Otherwise, we'll come after you with penalties and so forth. So perhaps we need to consider working together in that way that we all are accountable to each other. I don't know what the answers are, but we can start from here.
Inger, your closing remarks for this session, and then we'll move to our last session of the day. Farzana, thank you so much for taking out your time, and please do join us. Pakistan time 9 p.m., UK time 4 p.m. The closing ceremony, we're calling it the Global Climate Hero Awards, and appreciation of certificates and virtual awards will be given as this conference is virtually. So see you soon for the closing ceremony, UK time 4 p.m. Thank you so much, Farzana.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for the session to all of you here. And I think there is a love story to be created. It's falling in love again with nature, and it means the inner nature of being human, and as rightly said, the water that is part of the biggest narrative of climate change. And on a hotter planet, we know that when the ocean is heating up, it gets more water in the air. So it's going to be heavy rainstorms and bomb rainstorms, like flooding coming down from the sky. When it comes to acid rains, as I'm based in Norway, and we used to have acid rain coming from the UK, and they killed all the fish, the water in the lakes, inland lakes. So we had to clean up and stop the acid rain. So it's so much to do about the air pollution. Rightly, as you say, about the motorbikes. I just came back from India, and I've been twice in India. So I know how the haze is hitting my eyes when I want to take a selfie outside, and it's impossible to open the eyes and look and look around and breathe. It's like a dark day in New Delhi in November. It's like the blankets of poison covering the city. So, and I was looking at the motorbikes rightly, and I said, how can that be converted into bioengines gas or into electrified gas? And in our conversation during these 12 days at COP, someone said that it could be done, but the market, the existing production of motorbikes in Pakistan, they will lose their factories for producing bikes. But it should be activated as an idea to get the bikes, bikers and the motorbikes with us. To it's a problem. I've seen the converting of cars in Italy, and that was last year with my the creative project called C6, Creative Collaborative Culture to Combat Climate Change. 6 countries in Europe, and in Italy they told me, hey, you know, Inga, not every country is like Norway that can rely on Teslas and electrical cars, because in Italy we don't even have the electrical grid to have cars to be powered with electricity. And then the gas station in that area in Tuscany was actually, you can have converted cars, you have mixed cars engines. So that was a very interesting case, and they know, they have the book beside me. They've been driving on biogas, it means waste, all the way to China on a car. So I like to see us driving with the biogas powered car. But let's come back to that. For this session, I would just like to extend my thank you and gratitude. It's a new love story to be activated, and it's the love for nature. That's my greetings to all, and my hope for the last day of 12 days of COP, Sadaf. It's a new love story to start, and it starts with the beauty of Pakistan. And we'd like to see you as a tourist, Minister of Tourism. We're coming there soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for your beautiful comments. And yeah, so it's for you, it's for me, it's for everyone. Symphony of Billion Voices coming together. Our African team from Pakistan, UK, Norway made it happen. So we'll be celebrating. Do join us for the closing ceremony, which will happen Pakistan time, 9 p.m. and 4 p.m. GMT time. It's a virtual Global Climate Hero Award ceremony. So stay tuned for the ceremony as well. And let's move on to the next session. Inger, let's play the intro video.
Yes, we do. I see a lot of love in that video. I see love for water.
Wonderful shows. Coming to end now.
We
Yes.
have 45 minutes, so we'll be playing some interviews so that we get a break. But Inger, you're playing Mr. Jinnah's interview with Andrea.
Yes, I can find that. It's it was David has docked it. I didn't dock it, but I will find all of the interviews.
In the meantime, Mr. Jinnah and Iram, I will ask you questions. What do you think so far of this whole It's For You campaign? And how do you feel? Today is the 12th, finally, 12 days in a consecutive days. Mr. Jinnah, what do you think?
I'm optimistic, so that's why I see all green. That's probably my problem. So when I overlook the COP28 from the time we had a coffee at the uh,
Costa.
yeah. So since then, I'm into it and it's going very good. And because the reports I've seen, for the Pakistan participation, I think this time was very good as compared to the last year or year before maybe. So I think a lot of things is happening, something practical I can see. And I'm sure when you have those post-event report will come out, then we know exactly what happened. But so far, I think seems so good. And plus, honestly, I've been part of you guys, your team, and really enjoyed. A lot of people there, a lot of things coming, and of course, at least on two occasions, I raised my point that Pakistan is a victim of climate effect, not the creator. So people who have created this climate, they should do something about the countries like us. So that's why I think I got lucky this time that I raised my voice, and of course it's on the YouTube also, so I keep sharing to a lot of people. Okay, this is a big problem for Pakistan. We should do it. Yes, over to you, Iram.
Thank you so very
Yes, Iram.
much, Jinnah Saab. It's all been a pleasure having you on our team, and it's like amazing. And as I say, it's for you, it's for me, and it's for everyone. So congratulations to It's For You team. It's like antidote to COP28 UAE. David has made it possible. Plus, we are the team, which is the dream team that we go and just think and do it together. That's amazing that we all got synergized. So, talking about It's For You experience, thank you very much, Sadaf Khalid, for connecting us with your team over there in UK and many other places. So it's been new connections, new people, new environment, new countries that I got in connected to. It's like a global community coming into the network of Iram Fawad, and I'm so very happy that as I am a global networker and I love doing networking. So this is what it is. So it's in teamwork, I guess, and entire 12 days is like from 1st to 12 for 12 day today. It's like this ceremony happening today, and I am all excited, and we all are getting together 9 p.m. GMT +5. So whoever is listening to me, come join me.
Yes. Thank you,
And
Iram.
Iram, but I just like to remind you, Iram, don't forget the dinner. We supposed to have. So don't
Oh
forget it.
my God, I've been asked out. Oh my God. That's amazing. Thank you so very much,
So-
sir. And
so-
yes,
so-
I
And
never
I'm-
forgot about it.
David to stay.
After
David and
today,
Richard.
we're gonna get connected. We're gonna get.
So let us look at the interview we have prepared, because we have been working with Andrea from
Yes.
Thailand, and she's Australian, and she's been doing interviews with all of us to really get the voices of the
Amazing.
dream team. And this
Okay,
this first
before
year,
either you play, I wanted David and Richard to stay, but I think they need to have a break. They have sessions, and today is the closing day. But can you please, Aram, take a picture? So we live in the digital world. They surprised me with
Yeah,
the bouquet of flowers and this card. David, all the way from UK, he sent it.
sure. Sure. Just a minute. Just 1 second. Gaurav. What is that? What is that? I cannot see it. Close it. Close it. Close
Card
it
and
to
flowers.
the camera. All right. See some flowers.
Thanks,
I'll see
David,
something amazing
sending me
stuff. Yes. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. I got the picture. And you look
closing
amazing.
ceremony appreciations. Thank you.
Yay! Yay!
beautiful, beautiful. So this is the theme of today with Farsana was beautiful. It was the falling in love with nature again. So this is the love story of working together for the dream team. And here comes I will share the screen and present the story and the interview from Erum Fawad. And I want my soul to be free. Here we go now. I'm ready to present it. And you will, all of you will like it, I think. So here it is.
Welcome to 12 Days of COP. I'm your host, Andrew Edwards, and I am
Ready.
very, very happy to have Arum Fawad, I believe, right?
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
All right, so we've just got a little bit of a pause, but we'll work through it. Anyway, before I ask you to talk about your background, I want to talk about the first time I came across you. It's on the It's For You group. It was early in the COP28 days, and you were sitting in your car with your sunglasses on, and I just went, "Wow, there's a lady with some swagger." And
Yes.
I'm not a person that I would consider has. I wouldn't consider myself as a person of swagger, but I really, really love seeing it in other women. And I was instantly a fan.
Oh my God. Thank you so very much. I'm very humbled to hear that. So yes, I'm a swagger, and my swag is something that I really carry.
Yeah, you sure do. And all the ladies out there, if you got it, use it. It's a great quality. All right, so we are going to hear about your background, and I'm going to add your presentation to the screen. So for those on the podcast, they won't be able to see it. But yeah, let's hear about your amazing background.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, firstly, for interviewing me. I am so very humbled, Madam Andrea. And, this is a journey of 26 years. Now, I guess if I count right, it's 27 years. It's an entrepreneurial journey that I have started with different of the diverse hats that I wear. I almost wear 27 hats and work all day long. It's like 24/7. I'm working and only sleep for 4 hours. If you are dedicated enough, then you want to do everything. So yes, women are one of the gift of gods that God has created. Actually, we are multitaskers, and I wanted to challenge myself that if I can make it happen. So I am so humbled that God has given me that strength. And these days, like, people know me that I am one of the Miss Know-It-All, that who knows everything from social media to fashion to digital to business development and to many other ventures of mine. I started this journey around in 2000, when my fashion journey started. With the fashion journey, it's been many of the things that I started, that I wanted to do something sustainable. I wanted to do something which is good in fashion. So sustainable fashion entrepreneurship, I'm still writing a book on it. and writing the way of entrepreneurship in Pakistan for the women, how to grow their business and how to make it possible to be one of the brand name in sustainable fashion. Next, please. So when you see that I have a huge profile, that means that I am one of the master trainers of United Nations in SDGs goals as well. So I am a master trainer in SDG 4, which is education and gender equality and decent working, to create some opportunity for women and men so that they can have some decent money for their homes and to become prosper. And then least but not the last, it's like SDG 17, which is like the partnership. Like I am a very friendly kind of a person and a businesswoman who goes and take a risk with and leaps to the continents. Actually, what I do is like as I am into the business development and everything, so I have contacts around the globe. And as being a global networker, God has given me a gift of that PR and networking. So I am very good at it. And I'm very thankful to my God that I have that power of networking, that people do listen to me. So I started doing making some of the JVs, joint ventures with Africa, and then to Norway, School of Climate with Inger Mattei was there. And this is what it is. I guess not only this, I wanted to make a difference, as not only that I want to achieve the goal that I can do many things, but also to provide people with the same strength and the positivity that I am doing it with. And I think what the knowledge I have, it's my duty to just deliver it to others. So it's been a quite a roller coaster kind of a trip, but this is how my life goes on. If you just put your next slide so that I can tell.
Yeah,
I
was just going to say, just before,
with the fashion one chair. Yeah,
just with this sustainable development goals, like this to me looks like an opportunity for many people around the world to go and do this training and then potentially become a trainer themselves, right? It looks
actually,
yeah.
when I started, there was no one to teach, actually. So I am privileged enough to do all of these things, and Alhamdulillah, that God has been very, very kind, and He gave me a few of those men and women who really helped me. And I wanted to learn about the sustainable goals. I wanted to do something about it. Once I studied it, it just touched my heart, and I want to do something for the betterment of the globe, because I'm that kind of a person that the goodness stays in my heart, and I want to spread the goodness. So I guess this is what my God has gifted me. And through my most of the philanthropy kind of things that I do, like I work for food as well. I provide food to many of the people. I started collaborating with the orphanages, and then the cancer hospital, children especially, hospital, which is like thalassemia children, whom I want to just spend the Christmas days of mine with them, rather than staying home. I spend some time with them.
Yes.
When I started doing this in 2014, many of the hospitals know me because I just collect $1 from entire globe, and that $1 can make a smile in my country of those children who has no life left. So you know what, like making a one happy day for them, it's a very, very, very important. So for me, it's like I just follow this thing religiously, as my religion also tells that you have to help others. That's what it is. So this is how I just um, work throughout that. And this is my entire what I do. Like, I'm a business growth advisor of JV Geniuses, STG Master Trainers, associate producer, growth hacking, CEO of Digital Academy Pakistan. I'm privileged to do that, and many more that if I start reading, it's going to be an evening. So I guess like I'm a social media coordinator for It's For You team. It's for you, it's for me, and it's for everyone. So yeah, so this is my journey, that when I start speaking, people listen. So I became a motivational speaker as well. This is my organization called Womenpreneur Pakistan Organization, where we educate, we tech, we help, and we network. So that means women entrepreneurs that I wanted to make few of the replicas of mine as well. So I have trained these girls, and this is the certification ceremony that I have arranged. And this is like the entire companies who sponsored me behind the scenes. You can see the logos of the many companies, that those who supported me in this cause. I'm very, very humbled that people over here, they believe in CSR in Pakistan too much. And then they have that CSR responsibility, and they help these kind of organizations to grow. The women as well.
Nice.
Next, please. So if you see that I say that SDG 4, 5, 8, and 17, that's education, gender equality, decent working and partnership in SDG goals. That is my core, you can say, mission, that I am doing it. It's been many years that I've been teaching into rural incubations and many of the remote areas of Pakistan where there is no education for women and girls, who can also earn a little bit, $1 that they can also make from their mobiles and their laptops and all that. And I'm teaching freelancing to them as well. And then starting how to start their businesses. It's like 0 to 1 startup. And that helped really grow it. If you can just, yeah. So this is what my mission and vision is like. Let's educate and empower women of Pakistan, because women of Pakistan really needed one. Even though they are CEOs and the chairpersons of a company or an organization or a factory, but then they don't know the future pavement. They don't know the way forward, because they need some trainings. And I started doing that corporate training for the CEOs and everybody, so that they can also understand how they can take the things ahead. And with a proper strategy, proper growth strategies, they can also generate a lot of money, and they can straighten up the GDP of the Pakistan. So that is why, if the 52% of the women in Pakistan start working today, then we are a greater number than men. So they can make money for the country. So that's the mission, and that's the vision of mine.
Nice. And one more? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I do. I train girls in empowering youth, the younger girls, into different of the, because we have that veil thing that we wear, and girls are not allowed to go anywhere into the boys' colleges or something like that. But these are the women tech colleges, and they invite me over to give them some teaching and everything. And these all girls have certified by me, and they are working remotely on the digital and social media curation and making content writing and many other things, and mobile apps and many other things.
Oh, that's brilliant. So do you have a team that you can do you, like, if I wanted to hire somebody in this team, can I do that through you? Is that the sort of system that you've got set up?
Yeah, sure. Sure. As many of the girls are now married and into different country of the city of the country, but cities of the country. And then what, I can connect you. I've got remote around 450 girls on my panel who are sitting at home into different areas in north, south, and many places where I need some work. Even my social media on the Facebook, I've hired like 3 of the students that are doing something for me, because it's very difficult when you become a public figure. As now everybody knows me from media to political, and from education to fashion. So this is what it is. These are the 4 fields that I am known in. And when you become a public figure, then it's really very difficult to just survive. You just walk into mall and people know you. Oh, you're Aram Fawad. Oh my God, can I have a picture? And this is my journey. And then I be polite and give them a picture, and with a big smile. I don't want any paparazzi to just follow me. So I am as humble as I am right now, and everybody knows about it.
I love it. All right.
So this is what Womenpreneur actually has an idea, like business ideas that we can give it to you. And then online visibility is the most important thing that I tell every woman entrepreneur who wanted to start their business 0 to 1. So then what you have to do is make it possible, like for them. Like business consultancy is most important. If you have a consultant which is worth talking to, and which can make your business grow, is very important. Choose very wisely. I've got mentors from who I am today. The mentors made me. It's like 20 mentors around the world that I just talk to, and no matter what color they are, and no matter what country they are, I am one human being of God that is connecting to everyone to seek knowledge. You just need to have that DNA of seeking.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. Oh, I love this.
So this is what I look for. Women empowerment is equals to nations empowerment. No matter where you are sitting, if you're a woman, get up and do something about your nation.
100%. 100%. GDP grows, even though I don't support the concept, but everyone wins with equality. Men too, absolutely.
So my work not only in women empowerment, but also into youth empowerment in SDG 8, providing decent working to people. I have some of the projects that I had done with the government of Pakistan, and started training those men and women, young men and women who wanted to start their business. From 0 to 1 strategies and leadership skills, I have learned that if you guide them correctly, you can do many other things, So this is how it is. And that's what like youth empowerment program for SDG 8 I have been involved in, from the KPK and Sindh and many other remote areas. I will just let you know on this one, because this is something good for the Pakistan.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Yes, next slide. So making a global impact on economic growth and country's GDP, because this is my vision and this is my mission, that Pakistan really need to grow up their GDP so that they can shine on the globe of the platform of the world. So I just wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I have done, the Wonder Women Award, from those ladies who has trained and make their mark, and they have achieved something. So I arranged an award for them that is called the Wonder Women Award. Just right after the COVID finished, I just had a thing that those days the lady doesn't know how to make money, but they did it by sitting home, and they opened their company online and everything, and they just started doing it. One of the girls that I wanted to say that she's from Pakistani North, the city called Hunza. It's really beautiful. It's just like, it looks like Paris, and looks like Switzerland, you can say. But this little girl just started selling honey from that little garden that her mom started. And now she is like, selling the honey entire Pakistan and sending it to UK as well.
Brilliant, brilliant. I love the Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah. So my activities and events, which is, you can see that I am a fashion entrepreneur. You can see a fashion show over there. Then there's a tech thing that I do. I work with the government of for the Women Development Education Program that I have just told you. And there is some fashion, virtual fashion in COVID. We started doing it. And this is how it is. So we are, one of the girls that can do anything and everything.
I love it. All right.
So as per I told you, this gender equality education can, if you know the way to survive, you can survive. Food comes after, because if you doesn't know how to sow a seed, you doesn't know how to make money, then there is nothing you can do. So for survival, you need some education. You need some of the things that you can make some money out of it and can make your family eat something. So education and then health, that comes later. But I guess sustainable developmental goals, that my efforts single-handedly, I guess it's from 2014. I've been working on these goals, and I'm very enthusiastic still working on it. So anyhow, as it is recording, and I'm just not there, but I guess it is very, very good that we got connected, and Womenpreneur Pakistan organization is making a difference. It's an online organization which can be helping to each other and collaborating with many, many of the countries.
So my Wi-Fi just went out then, so I'm sorry I missed that, but
it's okay. It's okay. It's internet. It's internet glitches. Everybody should know now that we are tech girls, and it's okay. No problem.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, listening to what you're doing and how hard you're working, oh my God, it's just mind-blowing. And for anyone who feels that they can't do anything, please take a room as an example of someone who just is relentless and never stops working. Let's take you back to before you started working from a sustainability perspective. Was there a moment, an event, an extreme weather event, or you read something or saw something that really sort of switched your mind onto the crisis the world was in?
Yes, way back, I used to be a simple mom of 3 boys, and really didn't know what to do, listening to my husband and cooking some food. And that was my entire life. Cleaning my home. I had the education, but never thought of myself worthy. Then thank you to my husband, who made me think that I can do something. He's no more with me, but I guess credit goes to him that he gave me 3 boys, and he's no more in this world. But I guess that person has mentored me. That person has shown me a way that a woman can also drive, and a woman can, because at those days when I really didn't know how to drive, and I wanted to be free, as I am a Sagittarius, right? So I need some, free. Like, I want my soul to be free. So I don't want to just say, obey, yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. I do whatever I please. So the thing is, like, I'm a resilient kind of a girl. And if I say that I want to do something, I want to do something, so then I do it. I guess, this is the way it is. I guess my boys also understand that mom is a very intelligent person, but then I have to prove them. I started my fashion business, and though my husband didn't like it, I opened the shops over here in a very busy mall. But then I couldn't afford it because he's not supporting in me, giving me no money for that. And my dad supported me, my mom supported me, my brother supported me. They helped me out. Those are the men that I am naming who empowered me. And if my dad wouldn't stand up for me, uh, I think I am not sitting in front of you right now, because my dad always treated me like a boy, as I am the only girl in entire boys family. And one of the girls in our family, we are from a very prestige family, but the women, as being a Muslim women, we are not allowed to just go and meet any kind of men and something like that, and networking and all that. This is the first time in my entire family that I am the one who has my dad's trust. And now, these days, he asks me that, do I have to do this? And any decision that I am counting. And I'm very proud that I got the seat in the family table where boys used to sit. So this is what it is. So this is making a difference. But
Yeah.
I wanted to say on air that thank you, Dad, for standing by me.
Yeah, nice. Nice. I love that. And uh, so many women around the world just have no appreciation of how hard it can be for so many women in the world based on cultural traditions, religious expectations. There's so much to it. And, so, yeah, I really admire the fact that you've been supported and had the courage to step out. It takes a lot of courage. All right. Has there been any announcements at COP28 that have sort of got your attention, made you feel maybe either not necessarily positive, it could also be not feeling so good about it, but anything that stood out for you?
Yeah, because I guess when it COP28 UAE, and it's for you people connected with me, and that's Sadaf Khalid that I give the credit to. That she's one of the besties over the years, and we started the business together in fashion, and there are many other things that we do together. And we call ourselves Power Girls because we are the Powerpuff Girls, Inger, me, and Sadaf. So we can make it happen. If we think, we can make it happen, because she has brains and I've got digital power, and I can do whatever I think. And same goes to Inger Mate. We never met in person, but you know what?
Yeah.
Like, if you think alike, um, you're born to connect, I guess. With few people, if you don't connect, you don't have to be an empath to just know all these things. You just assess a little bit of plus and minus, and that's how we started it. And it's for you is one of the campaign that I really love, that I wanted to do it because alone I can't do it. I need people together standing with me for this global networking makes people understand the idea, the vision, the mission of everything. I guess we all are here in this world to make a difference. So that's why when David said oil, gas, limitation, that's the tagline that, it just took my attention.
Yeah.
Sadaf and Inger went to COP 26 and 27 as well. Personally, I couldn't go because of my mother's sick. Otherwise, I should have gone to Glasgow and Egypt. But then I would love to be a part of it over there. I want the climate activists to visit Pakistan as well, because Pakistan is made of people who are very talented, who are very, very way ahead in technology, in education, in mathematics, in everything. I have found the other day the marine, a girl which is, her work underwater for the underwater marine life is simply, I got stunned that, oh my God, the young girl who has been swimming underwater every day, scuba diving in Pakistan, checking out if fish is doing good. She's got a company over there. I got so inspired, and I just uploaded the posters and told African team to make the things, because like um, I am a networker. I meet people
Inger, we're back on stage.
because I have with me. The good part about it that I can give you the positive vibe, plus I'm an empath, plus I can heal your spirit, plus I can give you a business development idea.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, so let's talk about It's For You. What does it mean to you? You were touching on it then, but what drew you into that sort of the idea of it's been really interesting hearing what everyone thinks about it. How does it speak to
Yeah.
you?
Okay, when I say on the podcast, it's for you, it's for me, and it's for everyone. That really means to me, because the idea of David Coe and Richard of bringing the world together or making communities stand together on one page. That means that sustainability. That means that the future generations sustainability. That whatever the blessings you have right now, I want my generations. At least I am very concerned about it. My generations that I used it the way I did, and God has given us this world, this beautiful nature, environment, food, and many other things that we are not even thanking Him for. But I guess as for a human being, every day you must get up and say, "Thank you, God, that you have made me breathe, because it's not in your hand." Believe you me, God has given you the breath, and God has given you the eyes to see the future. So this is what it's for you, for me. When I started talking about it, and Sadaf connected me to David, the moment I talked to David, I said, "Girl, you need to do this. This is something that can make you a legacy." Because I wanted to work not only for me, I wanted to become a legacy.
Hmm. Yeah, legacy is so important, right?
So, my friends, we are working on a legacy. Thank you,
Yes,
David.
yes, and I believe Iram is there with us.
Oh,
An
yes.
amazing woman. Well done, amazing. You've done so many things, and it's so incredible.
Thank you so very much, sir. I'm humbled to hear good words and kind words from you.
And this part where, with my wife, she was a housewife. She was looking after our children. She gave up on kind of a career in the beginning, and then she studied again, and she became a midwife in later on. It's like, as you were describing, that transformation is so much kind of a natural thing now, for women to be empowered in that way. How do you feel about that as a message to young women today? Um,
Yes, thank you so very much for asking me this question. Because I guess there's always a room for learning. If you're a seeker and a knowledge seeker, you need to do something. And every human being has been sent over here in this world. This is my part of belief that I believe in, that you have a proper uh, journey to live in. But unfortunately, human don't understand it. Especially women, they are all given themselves to their families, not even thinking about themselves. What are they made of? What are the talents in them? And I guess I am the privileged kind of a woman who has that vision and who has that all kind of talent which was hidden inside me. I was a very shy kind of a person, an introvert, you can say. But then I started taking some of becoming mentees to different of the mentors around the world, and they build up my confidence so that I can stand up for myself. And every woman has a talent in herself. this is not a magic. This is God has given you, but you have to explore it. The journey of all of these things made me what I am today. I guess the mentors, thank you to all who are listening over here around the world. I am much thankful because I met you and I got some knowledge from you that how to speak up and how to become a public speaker and then becoming a motivational speaker. Because I believe, as I said in the interview, that if you have the gift of voice that God has given you and people are listening to you, you have a duty to deliver. So this is what I did.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Um, as we are ending the first morning session of 12th December 2023, and we are saying what is the legacy for and our voices for COP28 in its antidote. One of the most important voices I can see now that is kind of collective voices that's coming out is in fact the women empowerment and the story out of Pakistan in all its diversity, and that we really can have a voice that is exciting and demanding change and empowerment to fall in love with nature again in many ways. Over to you, Sadaf. What's your take on our 3 hours session this morning?
Yeah, can we get everyone back in the frame? Mr. Jinnah has also joined us, and I'm trying to reach the African team. I hope that they join us too. If David can send them a text. Inger, when we started this campaign from 1st to 12th December, we've heard stories, me and you hosting the morning sessions, and I've seen the evening sessions as well. Yeah, women do have a strong voice. Our focus is COP28 and climate environmental challenges. They're doing wonders, whether it's youth networks, whether entrepreneurs like Iram, whether they're students, startups, non-profits, corporate business. So I think overall, the women do have a strong voice, but let's not talk too much about women. We have three men here, and I always talk about gender equality, David, Richard, and Mr. Jinnah. So I heard some wonderful stories, from Germany, from I don't even remember how many countries that we have, like more than maybe 20 now.
Jamaica.
Yeah. So over to Richard. What was your experience so far for this whole campaign? How are you feeling? We're coming to the closing ceremony soon. Richard.
Thank you, Sadaf. I feel proud. I'm also quite tired, but that's what you would expect at 12 quite intensive days. I think
You can go and have a nice glass of wine after.
Oh, maybe two even. Maybe two even, I would say.
And I don't mind either.
My strongest sense is that we have allayed not necessarily the fears, but the sneaky suspicion that people actually didn't care. I think those suspicions or those fears have been cast aside, because whatever we've shown over these 12 days is unequivocally that people do care. There is a very strong sense wherever you are in the world that this place we're all inhabiting is full of people who do care and who sense that they want to be different and they want to make that different. And I think that's the absolute strongest sense I take away with me from these 12 days is in some basic form, it's a belief in humanity in that sense.
Wow, I like that quote that you just mentioned, believe in humanity. Yes, Mr. Jinnah, your experience so far.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Thank you. Of course, I'm a backbencher. Normally, I sit at the backside, and then, back of the stage and I work on. But, luckily I had two interviews, I was fortunate enough. And because I always wanted to raise voice about that Pakistan is a victim of climate changes. and we are not creator of climate effects. So I think, this time, we got this chance to raise, our voice. And also, I'm just waiting for the post-event report will be, of course, will be coming out soon. But so far, a lot of things coming up. And I think this year, apart from us, the Pakistan also did quite well in COP28, and they have raised their voice. And I'm sure, in days to come, in the coming days, thing will come up and will shape up. And the people will realize, what effect all the the underdeveloped countries are facing because of this environment, and they are only the victim, not the creator. Yes, over to you, Sadaf.
Okay. I think Mondre from Kenya, Nairobi has joined. Hello, can you hear us?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. So your
Oh,
comments on Rich For You campaign. We are closing the first session. Yes, over to you, Mondre.
Maurice.
yeah, for me, my official name is Maurice Ngaruya, but I'm an artist. I sing music. I think I released my album 2 days ago. Also part of the It's For You campaign. It has been very, 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 very instrumental, especially even with the awards that are going on and the issues that have been raised. And I feel like the end report should also be compiled in a way that to also explain some views of other stakeholders like PACJA, who released that's Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance, who released a very eye-opening report. I don't know, I think I'll send the link of how the COP28 has, in some ways, the conference itself failed to address the issues that are in Africa and in least developed countries, LDCs. So it will be very important for the It's For You campaign to also remove some of the eye-opening reports moving forward. But it has been an amazing experience. I mean, this has been a very thoughtful thing to do for the COP28. Thank you very much.
Last not the least, David.
Well, just before that, sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I put up a link there, bit.ly/Halisi Monray. Do visit this. It is Morris's latest album, The World of Love and Charms. It's an amazing piece of work, of musical work, and it's something that will keep you listening, will keep you glued to. So please go there, make a contribution, make the difference to his life. It's for you.
Thank you very much. There is a very beautiful song inside there called Dunia. Also, just giving you some heads up. It's about climate. You will get to listen about it, but it will be a pleasure sharing, inviting you guys to my world and making it brighter.
Do you want to explain a little bit about Dunia?
Yeah, so Dunia
for you.
Yeah, I can explain. It's more of making sure that climate democracy is not something that we fight for anymore. It should be something that should be given, and it's our right as citizens of the world to make a difference.
So the time to make a change is now. So the time to make a change. Tuiokoe dunia, kwa pamoja tuiokoe dunia, kwa pamoja tuiokoe dunia, kwa pamoja tuiokoe dunia, dunia. It wasn't like this before. So let us stand, every action counts. Reuse, recycle, we got to care. Educate the world, spread the word around. The oceans are polluted, the forests are burning, animals losing homes. It's our chance to bring out the change. Dunia.
Thank you, Maurice.
Kwa pamoja tuiokoe dunia. Kwa pamoja tuiokoe dunia.
Thank you, Maurice. It's excellent. Thank you for being part of the team. It's amazing.
Thank you. It's called Kwa pamoja tuiokoe dunia. Together, let's save the world. Dunia is Kiswahili name for world.
Yeah,
There you go.
Dunia is
It's
Urdu word.
also-
Mr. Jenna? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Urdu and Hindi both. Dunia
Oh,
is
wow.
world.
Wow.
Dunia. Hey. So we come together for the world. The world is for you. What a
That's-
Yeah,
what a great way to finish our first session on the 12th day of COP28. Join us after for our closing ceremony, which will start at 4 p.m. GMT. That's 7 p.m. Nairobi time, 9 p.m. Pakistan time. Thank you very much, everybody. And what's that? That's like 9 a.m. 11 a.m. New York. So thank you.
So thank
4
you.
p.m. Kenya.
Thank you to all of you for coming to the show today, and thank you to all the
And David, thank you very much. You did a lot of efforts on all those things, and you weren't feeling well, but you never gave up. That's very good. And we have a round of applause for David. He did very
Thank
good.
you.
and Richard and the music. Thank you.
And Sadaf and Inga and Mr. Gina, who has been behind the scene and making it all possible. Thank you. Thank you, Morris.
This feeling of changing where you live in. It's for you to
Contribute
go. Dunia.